I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time. I'm a person who will spike the conversation, who will get politics rolling and stimulate new questions and new answers to our current political dilemma facing our nation. I believe I have a keen understanding of the economy and how to improve where we're at relative to other nations around the world. I believe that our goal at America's Third Party was to create a very strong platform in which would propel the American people forward with new opportunities and a new possibility of creating a better nation, a cleaner environment, and less war. I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to America's Third Party. I'm David Sponheim. I was having some problems with a DDoS attack earlier, and that's why the show was delayed over 10 minutes. And I was even unable to get into the Twitch show as well. They never sent me any information on my cell phone, so something's weird going on here, and I can't really figure it out. Now, there's a lot of people that believe that these fires are being started by what appears to be some sort of a super chemtrail. And Max just brought this information to our attention that there are theories that aluminum and barium are incendiary devices and can virtually ignite with a simple burst of radiation. And apparently, what we've experienced, many of us driving around, is these lines across the sky that appear to be, they're not clouds, they appear to be like clouds of smoke, long trails. We call them chemtrails, for lack of a better word. But the theory is that these fires starting all over the place are happening because of that is very strong. The question I have is, how could 300 fires start in a 24-hour period when everyone has their electricity off? And everyone's wondering, well, there can't be an arsonist running around flipping matches out their car windows. You know, that's the area they're covering is like a straight line too. So it looks very much like something very weird is at play. Now, regarding the president, yes, his national security advisors and staffers are uneasy. They fear a Trump backlash when people are speaking out now, contradicting the president and other people's claims, like Rick Perry's claims about Ukraine. And the NSC official Alexander Vindman, his testimony was very strong and has extremely damaging effect on Trump. This is the man standing behind Rick Perry. Yeah, Army Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman. I understand he has a twin brother, too, that works in the government. Anyway, Vindman claimed that Perry was at a meeting where the Biden probe was discussed, which Perry has repeatedly denied. So who are you going to believe, Rick Perry or one of our own, our military commanders? Yeah, very, very questionable issues going on right now. Let's take a look at the chat. Welcome, everybody. You've got stuff on the Jeffrey Epstein case. Expert hired by his family suggests they doubt on the suicide finding. Okay, what do they think, he was murdered even though his body didn't appear to match the one in the morgue? Is this taking on a flavor? They're saying this was homicide? No, he's still alive, clearly. We have more than enough evidence, forensic evidence, to back that claim up. Yeah, when you go to some of my files here, this is the picture that stands out in my mind. It shows Jeffrey Epstein's face up against a photograph of the man they found in the cell, and you can clearly see their nose is different. Their cheekbone, the dead person's cheekbone, is bruised and bigger than Jeffrey Epstein's, and the ear doesn't match. Clearly, it's not Jeffrey Epstein that died. So Michael Baden is a private pathologist who was briefly the chief medical examiner for New York City in the late 70s, before going on to become a celebrity forensic witness. He's weighed in on scores of high-profile cases, and they closed this coroner's case with his decision. But he's been the person closing cases in a lot of different, very questionable deaths. Michael Baden, we should research this later. Okay, thank you. Epstein, if Epstein is alive, what to do? The forensic expert is working on a stuffed rabbit. Again, forensic experts have been known to lie, and coroners have been known to commit felonies and lie because they're told to lie. So, Periscope is not up for some reason. Let's take a look. Okay, I have to reignite the Periscope show. I was down too long. Let me do Periscope again. Thank you. Okay, this organization called Monk is being paid to stop us and hack us. Is that what you're saying? Okay, I'm looking at that link. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. That's from inside of their organization. Yeah, that almost looks real. Yeah, this is a photograph that just came in of a hackers group. Yeah, I don't know what this is about, but this just came in. It could be paste up, could be, I'm looking for anti-aliasing effects in the picture, but these guys are supposedly sitting there working on hacking me right now. And they worked pretty hard. I had to switch VPNs earlier just to stay afloat so we can keep the show going. Okay, I'm getting up there with Periscope. Hold on. So Chimpanzee Smiley, you got some info that I've never seen before. Thanks for telling us. Yeah. I can't tell. I'll scrutinize the photograph to see if it's a paste up, but if it's real, you may have something there. Okay, today is Wasteful Wednesday, and today's topic is pollution and debt. Yeah, and now you can combine pollution with debt, and you can come up with some pretty novel ways of making money. Yeah, that's right. I'll tell you about that in just a second. ATP show, 10:30. Tomorrow I will be a stump, and Sarah's going to be a tree. That's what we're doing. I'm doing the Trump stump, and she's doing the tree. She's going to represent life. I'll be representing, well, a stump. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, here we go. All right, thank you for reminding me about my show being down. Now, we are not doing Twitch because I couldn't even get authorized tonight. I spent a good 2-3 minutes waiting for a cell phone to ring, and nothing came in. I sent for an authorization link, and nothing came in. So that's strange in and of itself. I know Twitch has been pretty much shadow banning me. We just talked about Twitter shadow banning me. We had one of our people send me a picture of their version of their Twitter account, and his name is McDundy, and he sent me a picture of what looks like something that's sent to my Twitter account, and I didn't get anything. I didn't get anything at all. and I haven't gotten anything since October 8th on my Twitter account. And my Twitter account's been augmented so that I can't even see what's the most trending thing, so that when I go in the show, I can't even post what's trending, because I don't have a hashtag Explorer on my Twitch template, what I work with. They had it today to show me what it was. It was weird. I was on with the same browser, no changes. I was online on Twitter. I looked at it. I said, oh, wow, an Explore button. And I said, oh, it finally got fixed. And I even tweeted at a certain time today that it was fixed. But I'm still feeling very censored there. And lo and behold, my board is back to the same thing. I don't have a button on it. Now, we know that Twitter has been shadow banning conservative groups, and anybody who supports America and our freedoms, whether you're a Trump supporter or not, are getting banned on YouTube and Twitter. But this is what I have, which is a dumbed down version, whereas you guys have the word Explorer on there and whatnot. That gives you a chance to look at what's trending. I can't even look at that. So that's where I'm coming from. And now we have confirmation that people can't even send me a Twitter message. They should have had a world-renowned autopsy artist. Now, well, they should have had a person who could simply look at a picture and know that that's not Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, this is so blatant, folks. The corruption is so blatant that it's beyond belief. For all of us who've seen the false flaggery that's been going on since the Aurora, Colorado shooting so long ago, this false flaggery, I call it, is our government telling us we have to be fearful of guns, and somehow we have to all get rid of our guns. And it's a definite plan by overtaking plan, an overreaching plan by a totalitarian government that's saying we want to get rid of everybody's guns. And what they want to do next, you don't want to know about, because it's pretty scary. Now, I'm a logical person. I'm not going to side with just the Democrats, even though I was a Democrat for 30 years. And I listen to a lot of gun rights supporters, and they explain to me that guns are virtually being taken away, and people don't have defenses in their homes, and criminals can get access to guns. Then crime rises. And this happened time and time again. It happened in Australia in the 80s when they implemented gun control. People's homes were invaded. But I argue now that, we are all potentially dealing with alien invasions of any kind. Why not make it our last line of defense for everybody to possess a firearm? And the logic that's coming out of the Democratic Party is so twisted and warped by these false flag events that they're clearly trying to do the bidding of the New World Order and disarm us, like Hitler did in Germany prior to taking over all the Jews and sending them to death camps. And don't think for a second that couldn't happen here. And FEMA camps could be activated and turned into death camps, just like in Germany in the 1930s. So you've got to ask yourself, why are they pushing so hard for gun control? And why is Donald Trump now embracing red flag laws, which is absurd? It sounds communistic. Okay, the improbable is not improbable. It's not a fixation. We believe that the fires were started by something much bigger. If you believe that birds of prey can spread fires, that's nice, but we've been talking about incendiary devices like aluminum, barium being sprayed in the sky, and we can even look in the sky and see that happening. So you can run your mouth off all you want about how these fires are starting, but not one of you can come up with a legitimate reason these fires are starting, not trained birds happening to be moving around and simply starting fires. How absurd is that? Trained birds, that's beyond belief. When you see the skies above you look like this every day, as I do, and I looked in my skies today and I had crisscrosses of chemtrails all just like this in my sky in Washington State. If you see that in your sky and you see these types of things, they aren't normal weather patterns. Far from it. They are seeding the skies with heavy metals that could veritably turn into a fire with the right radio frequency stimulation. Medical examiner says he sat in on Jeffrey Epstein's autopsy and it looked more like murder than suicide. Well, again, this is kind of a redirect because it didn't even look like Jeffrey Epstein. How could anybody possibly believe that Jeffrey Epstein died when the person that they carted out of the room doesn't even look like Jeffrey Epstein? The nose is different. The cheekbone is different. There's evidence, I agree, with violence, which implies not suicide. If that's what Michael Baden said, broken bones in Epstein's neck, as well as eyeball hemorrhages, more common in strangling than in hanging, led him to his conclusion. I don't know. When you see a broken neck bone, you rarely see somebody who's able to kill themselves. And I have to remind you, nobody has ever been suicided at that facility. Jeffrey Epstein was the only one in 40 years. There were no hooks. You couldn't hang anything on anything. There's no way you could hang something high enough to break your neck. Sammy Davis says, David, it took me 20 minutes to log in. You have 60 views. You're not on the browser page. WTF, this is censorship. I know, man. Tell me about it. I can't control. Mark won't put me out on the list. He's getting paid heavily to keep me down right now. Larry's not an issue, Melrose. We'll deal with Larry later. We are. And Sammy Davis, you're one of the many people who are seeing this on the backside of it, trying to get in here and hitting the capacity server screens. I don't know how many people have had to encounter this. Probably hundreds of thousands of people have tried to get in here and couldn't get in here because the chat rooms are tightening up like a vice grip, like a witch's sex organ. Yeah, they're not planning on having any relations with us. These websites are absolutely my problem. I mean, I can't seem to break out into a website that will have open guest chat. Yeah. I didn't want to say anything too derogatory about women's body parts, but yeah. Dave, someone who doesn't have access to the chat wanted me to tell you he's homeless, living at a Walmart parking lot, but he looks forward to listening to the show on UHF. It's the highlight of his day. That's cool. I'm glad I'm able to give you guys hope, because that's what this is all about. We're like the hope generating machine, and keeping the show going is your ticket to the possibilities that could await if people could hear about what we're doing. The numbers of people have to really be huge for these people to crack the censorship. Yep. Okay, you got a 500 internal server area. What I did just now is I had to reset my VPN because my VPN was DDoS the minute my show started. And as soon as the show started, it not only knocked me out, I had to reset up all my stream keys. Took me a while, like 8 minutes. No video? Huh. Well, you guys who want to go check it out, hey Hog Slammer, thanks for coming into our show. I see you over there in the corner. Hog Slammer's doing his thing. He's got a little banner too. Here's Periscope. If you want to use Periscope, Sammy, and then also use pop-out chat, that's what I do. That prevents your computer from being attacked with CoinHive, which is something Mark uses to mine bitcoins on top of censoring our show. I don't know, Microsoft website update going on across the board. It's been going on for a couple days now. Hey, Scissor Fight, welcome. LA exploding with 10 more fires, folks.
Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. This is an emergency broadcast. LA has burst into flames this morning. LA and the surrounding communities. It looks like a war zone. If you look at the screen right in front of you, there are somewhere 6 to 10 new fires that have burst up in the last hour or two. I just woke up just a little bit ago and looked at it, and oh my God, I was more right in my predictions that LA would burst into fire last night than I can possibly believe. All those areas that you see little black spots popping up.
Wow.
And you can see smoke rolling it above one of them.
Yeah, definitely. It's a pretty serious blast of fire happening, and I believe it's mostly from
right down
super
here,
chemtrails. I'm going to call these
west of LA.
Yep. You just got in to the show, Scissor Fight. I want to show you something that just came from Max that looks pretty interesting. I'll give you the link. Check it out. Aluminum dust, geoengineering fueling super fires, according to this author. Yeah, thanks, Max, for bringing it in. But this is a very relevant theory that's happening. We know that all the chemtrails have been dumped across the West Coast, up and all the way up to Washington, and California is the most susceptible to fires, Santana winds, and all these things. And that would be the first area that they hit. But check this link out. I'm going to give it to you, Scissor Fight. You can check it out. Oh, there's the link. Okay, he gave you the link. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. Okay, Max gave it to you.
Computer.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of fires starting in LA. Let me move this out of here. Yeah, it's charged. Yeah, we got attacked at the beginning of the show, and it turned out it was a DDoS attack, and yeah, and I was able to reboot, and then I had to re-sign all of new stream keys,
Of course.
and on top of that, I was able to.
Let me hold
No, I got it. You can have a seat. I
Hold
got it.
up for you.
No, I got it. On top of that, it was a reboot, and then I went ahead and went off the VPN and back on the VPN to reset it.
Okay.
So I think what they're doing is they're DDoSing our VPN, and it's somehow back channeling into our system. But that's how they've been shutting us down. Okay, you got another probable cause. Okay, let's hold off with the links now that Sarah's here, because I don't want her absorbing the links while you guys get to know her. Schwarzenegger was evacuated this morning. He didn't say, "I'll be back." Yeah, he probably just wants to move out of California. Yeah. No sound? Huh. Is anyone else experiencing any no sound problems? Because I'm pretty good.
But check your
Audio card.
speakers.
Max says the sound is fine. Okay, I'll play a little bit more of this, and we'll get started.
Huge explosion, just out of nowhere. Boom! Right there. And I do mean explosion. Here are about 3 different ones over here. They're close together in the center of the screen, those dark areas. There's 3 or 4 of them right there. And there's a smaller one to the left that's now in the center of your screen. Up here, there's a huge one right in there that started a little bit later last night and is still having explosions around it. That one started in the middle of the night, and then that black spot you see pop up is a new explosion close to that location. You need to get a map out if you're anywhere in this area. You can go to this website right here, weather.cod.edu, and look for their map. It's on there, and you can see where these things are at in relationship to you. There's another one over here in the center of your screen now. A little further to the northwest. Hang on. It is literal war in LA. These are invisible attacks with invisible weapons that leave absolute carnage behind.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and talk. Sarah's going to give you a little of her time. However you want to justify this, I asked the question yesterday, how do 300 fires start in 24-hour period across the state? And some people are sending me images of how birds can carry fire. I've seen birds can carry twigs that are burning. Sure, that's possible, but not across the state, 300 different places. So the other solution that came up was possible incendiary air particulates, and that would be aluminum and barium, which are accelerants. And we do know, and we have proof that these things have been sprayed in our skies for some time. Now Sarah's going to go as a tree tomorrow, and I'm going as a stump. So You'll get the choice between a stump or a tree for Halloween.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you probably missed that masseuse that you had.
I think I just got an itch or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm a green girl. Well, it was my art teacher
Yes.
really had the idea.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I got to pull out my Donald Trump wig somewhere around here. It's in a bag. I'm gonna have to look for it.
I don't think you need a wig on this stuff, but whatever.
Well, I'm gonna do a Donald Trump wig because I'm doing.
It comes with a hood.
Well, I'll use a hood if necessary. If the stump is just a stump, I'll be a
It's
hood.
just a brown robe.
Well, that might be good. I actually have stump material I may hang around me.
Okay.
I have a really nice stump out in the back that I was thinking of harnessing onto the top of my body. But it'll be interesting. It might be like Roman armor where I tie it together, and throw the stump over the chair. But I'll just be sitting here with a stump and then my hair, or possibly a hood. We don't know. All right. What are you going to go as a rock? Yeah, it's hard. The hardest thing to go as is water.
That is true.
It'd be hard to be water.
I do have a scarf that looks like water.
Yeah, that's true. All right. It'll be the Trump stump, and we've got the promotion for it in our background.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's a paste up of a Trump stump, but I'll get to that later. Thank you very much.
I hope that's just a costume maxed out credit. I hope nothing happened to you.
Yeah. No, you can go as a cripple if you want, yeah. Okay, I'm going to get something to eat, and I will leave. I'll be back. Sarah's going to talk about whatever comes to mind. I will not deploy my third eye until later in the show tomorrow, when my third eye will be fully functional. Right now, I'm just testing the waters and making sure the whole unit is fully functional.
It definitely does make you look like a part of the digital audio video entity.
Yeah, really. Dave.
Okay, Dave.
And I couldn't get into Twitch tonight. They didn't even send me an authentication code, which is really weird
I
too.
thought that's what I heard beeping, but I guess that was my alarm.
No, my phone never arrived. My phone call never arrived, and it's sitting alive, and it still hasn't arrived. So something's going on the internet. I don't know what it is.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, you're better. Good. Yeah, David will be sure to wear his wig. Oh, I've got to bring home some pumpkins from the garden, maybe. That would be good. Especially before they rot. It was freezing last night, and so if I leave the pumpkins out too much longer, they will rot. So I saw this cool squash I had growing in the garden, and I was just leaving it, and then I felt it, and the bottom is all rotted, and it wasn't a pumpkin, but I gotta pick those pumpkins tomorrow. That's funny, Vinny. All right. The stream is freezing every 5 seconds. I don't know what to do with that. Oh. Does the guy really want to be president? Yes, he really wants to be president. The guy that just left. It's fine. It's all right. My name's Sarah. I don't think I want to be president. I know I'd probably be really good at it, but, I think I'm also good with just what I'm doing now, which is talking with you. So leave it up to the people that really want it. But welcome, Hovey. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I would be a good Secretary of Education. I teach, so that would be good. Thanks, Bugs. But David's the one running for president. I'm here to support him and his dreams and give him a break so that he can do other things in the midst of his 5-hour show. Yes, bookmark this page because he does this 6 nights a week. The only night he takes off is on the 7th day, Sunday. He rests. That's it. I did just take a bath and I got my hair wet. I didn't actually like do shampoo and conditioner tonight, but I did do that Sunday night, so I think it's fine. Well, there's certain ideas that you might like of David's. David says there's certain ideas that he feels Trump took that were his ideas. So we're centrists, so we're right in the middle of the political spectrum. There's might be ideas that you find are pretty left. What's my washing routine? When I wash my hair, I have this shampoo, conditioner, leave-in conditioner. This week I wanted to be really nice for Monday, so I also did like leave-in conditioner, which I don't always do. And I did like a little mousse. And before that I had like a little coloring agent. Yeah, centrist, common sense ideas. And then today I just took a bath and I had like a little bubble bath with Burt's Bees and Epsom salt, and I just sunk my hair into that and just to relax. What are you talking about, Melrose? That's true about the chemicals getting absorbed by your skin and washing your, you already have like, Maxed Out Credit says his routine is sleeping. I think that's going to become my routine. You got your winter tires on? That's good. Oh, that's a good idea. Leave-in conditioner, put it in the day before you wash your hair. Then it gets less tangled. And then, of course, you have to comb your hair, or I comb it from the bottom and then up. I agree with the shampoo. Maybe that's it. Maybe I will just get conditioner for my hair and stop shampooing. It does seem that shampoo dries out your hair. That's a good point, Hovey and Misanthropy. You're going to tell me the secret to strong hair? Okay. Sounds good. Oh, DJ Sam on Demand, you like to be around me, but you think I'm also a digital audio video entity. Yeah, I mean, if it gets grimy, you do have to shampoo. Okay, so you boil white rice, you let it sit overnight, and use that water to wash your hair the next day. Would it work for brown rice? Thanks, DJ. Maxed Out Credit over at iVlog. You used to get the forklift oil out of the cement with hair conditioner? Wow. When you worked at P&G? Wow. Oh. For you, Zinil, okay. Legit knowledge. You don't know about the brown rice. That's pretty interesting. How does my hair hang since it's wet? I'll let you see it. I just trimmed a little bit. That's how it hangs. That's how it hangs. Wow. I have to create a free account to read that article. Is it really worth it? Wow, with the white rice. Interesting. 2 eggs on my head every morning. I just don't want to do that. I know, my fancy dance hair spinning move. Oh, that's pretty true. Max Out Credit said women use more toxic chemicals on their skin sometimes than industrial processes do. Aw, thank you. You make my heart happy, DJ Sam. See, all the humans are not bad people. They're not all bad humans. Use the water from boiled rice that sat overnight. Okay. 100% better than any shampoo. I will stop buying shampoo because of you. I'm going to use the rest of the shampoo that I have in my house, but I'm not going to buy any more. And I will use that water from boiled rice. I want to try brown rice too, but I'll start with white rice. White rice water, okay. You had a girl say that you were toxic, and did you say, well, maybe? Never mind. You just like, what I like to do is like, somebody's projecting, but I don't say it out loud. The Sikhs use a hair treatment with milk. Maybe rice milk would be boiled white rice. And some Indian cultures use milk to wash their bodies with and hair with. Wow. All right, if you say Xenu. Okay, got it. Thanks, thanks, Misanthropy, whatever. Xenu, never mind. Sorry. Hello. Busybod, you're not that bad. And I am getting dressed up for Halloween as a tree. You will see tomorrow. Play the video. Oh, that's pretty fun. Good. Oh wait, Medveral, wait. I missed it. Did you say the secret? Oh, the eggs? No. No, I know you're not Xenu yet, thankfully. No, sorry. The question about my hair? What question did you want to ask me? Wait, never mind. Yes, I'm going to be a tree. That is what I've heard, Greek god. Oh, here it is. The jury awards.
The St. Louis County Police Sergeant says he was told he would have to, quote, tone down his gayness if he ever wanted a promotion. A jury believed him and awarded him $19 million. Sergeant Keith Wildhaber sued the St. Louis County Police Department for discrimination. He joined the department back in 1994 after 4 years in the armed services. Sergeant Wildhaber said in his lawsuit that he has received, quote, extremely positive feedback throughout his career, but was repeatedly passed up for promotion. He also said after he filed a complaint, the department retaliated by transferring him 30 miles from home to Jennings and putting him on overnights. That, too, was part of his lawsuit and the $19 million judgment in his favor. We reached out to St. Louis County for a comment. So far, we have not heard back, but the county counselor told the Post-Dispatch they're exploring their legal options and will do what's best for the county. A St. Louis County Police Sergeant.
Okay, thank you. Is that what you wanted? Xenu? Wanted you to know that that happened. Uh, that's not my costume, but kind of cute. That would be David as a stump. He's got a stump one for you.
Yeah, it's down there.
Here's a picture.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. You want me to make you a tomato sandwich?
Sure, that would be good.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, goodness. That's hilarious, Hubby. You get passed up all the time because you're hetero. What will I be? I already said I'm going to be a tree. I do not like eggs. No, I am not an egg fan. I will be human, but I'll be dressed up as a tree. Ugh. Yeah, I just, the only kind of
Says
egg
he
I
was told he
sometimes like is hard boiled, but for the most part, I am not an egg fan. I mean, I eat them in like baked goods, but see, like David loves eggs. Oh God. Like, and it's funny because my ex's family like supplied eggs for Southern California's grocery stores. But I've just never really gotten into eggs. I've eaten them, but no, I'm not an egg fan. And then I think I always kind of knew I wasn't an egg fan, but you've heard BusyBot's heard eggs are not good for men. He's watching over on Periscope. Yes, I don't mind caviar. You're right. Fish eggs on top of sushi. Those are fine. Those are okay. The little fish eggs, those are okay. But I'm not a chicken egg, ostrich fan egg. I have had duck eggs, which are a little bit better. But I'm really not an egg fan. I like it in baked goods, but that's it. And sometimes I like hard-boiled eggs. It was funny because I never really liked eggs. And then I had this like weird craving for hard-boiled eggs. And then I saw my sister. She's like 2 years younger than me, but we're super like connected in a weird way. Like, not telepathic, but very connected. And she was like staying with this person, and come to find out they would cook up like 5 dozen eggs, hard-boiled eggs at a time. Well, what do you think, Xenu? Oh, that's pretty cool. No-kill caviar aims to keep the treat of the caviar and save the sturgeon. I have a California tree costume for Halloween. This is the tree costume I'm gonna have is a completely original. It was created by an artist. Oh, whoa, that is wild. I don't think it's true, but it's wild. Metabunk. Well, was that okay, easy, how I framed that? Oh, I didn't know. I love fries. You're in love with Ghost. You just like his mind. You like the fact that he can code and things like that. Thank you. Oh, here's your costume. John Robinson's $25,000 challenge. Challenge feature: Lewis Sears trying Lewis. Oh, that's hilarious, though. That is too funny. Maxed out credit. Oh, goodness. Well, you know what they say, Melrose, about college degrees. First you get your Bachelor of Science, your BS, and then you get your MS more, and you get your PhD piled higher and deeper. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Hovey. All right. Bookmark our page. Come back often. 6 to 10-ish Pacific time. I don't know where you're located in the world. Whatever time it is, minus 1 hour. Actually, David comes in at 5, so minus 2 hours plus 3 hours. Somewhere right around in there. Check out back. And we'll be here. And yes, we do like to interact with our chatters because that's what keeps the show interesting. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been doing it this long. We've been here for quite some time. East Coast. Okay, so it's actually 8 to like 1 in the morning over there. Keeping it real. Nice to meet ya. Glad you're don't get hooked. Social media and all that. Oh, that happens, Xenu. I'm glad you're going to class. Are you in high school or college? Hello, Invictus. Oh, Medveral, you are hilarious. I do like your sense of humor, and I never said thank you for the bacon spice before David did that whole banning thing. Don't really know why that happens. Mine's not to ask. I don't know. Reason why? Not sure. But I do thank you for that. You're in law school. Why did they laugh at you? Because they always there is, when certain people accept the status quo, they tend to try to alienate people that don't go along with the status quo by laughing at them. But it takes people to break away from the status quo. Now, the thing is, though, with vaccines, I actually believe in vaccines. I'm not going to laugh at you, but I do believe in vaccines. And I do, David even, I've convinced him that, or he's said that vaccines, that the big thing he's against is vaccines in a super high frequency, like, 72 vaccines at once. He really thinks that vaccines should be given dosed out in small amounts. Can you elaborate, Hovey? Short term good, long term bad, very, very, very bad. I mean, in high dosages, they're well, I think that's the whole thing, is that vaccines were originally created to help the human race because there was things like polio. Oh, go ahead and give me your video, Misanthropy. I do believe, like, I believe climate change is real, but I also believe that there are certain things that people are professing that they think is the answer to climate change that I do not agree with, like spraying the sky to prevent certain radiation from the sun. Is it emotionally bad in the long run? I don't know what even that one, Hovey. I guess I don't. Okay. Wait, Dave has only spoken once on how measles has mutated. That's why people who have the measles vaccine are still getting the measles. They want to blame it on anti-vaxxers. Oh, and refuse to acknowledge this. That's very cool, Miss Anthropy. Thank you. David said that 6 million Jews were killed in gas chambers.
Yes, the Holocaust did happen.
And
but it
he's
wasn't just the
saying-
gas chamber, it was this typhus and other things.
Or 6 million Jews were killed
In the gas chambers
And-
and typhus as well.
during World War II.
Yeah, there were countless people who died of starvation as well as just horrible
You know,
suffering.
actually though, Hovey, there's a really cool book called Freakonomics, and in it talks about crime and how crime did not skyrocket when people thought it was going to skyrocket. And one thing that seems to correlate is the fact that that's when the crime started not skyrocketing. Everybody says it's going to go up and up and up, and it was going up and up and up, and suddenly it stopped going up because it was 18 years after abortion became legal, because abortion allows women or people to choose to be able to
Make a decision.
to make sure that they have children that they want and be able to provide their children with all the love and support that they could possibly give them.
I meet people all the time in our show who say that their parents told them they were a mistake. You know, so you can imagine how many mistakes there would be in the world if we hadn't had Roe v. Wade.
Misanthropy was bringing up something very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He said that the measles vaccine or measles virus mutated
In the vaccine.
in the vaccine.
It-
He didn't say that.
No, it mutated in the vaccinated population.
And wait, no. Wait, the virus mutated. Therefore, people who were vaccinated were no longer vaccinated against it because it had mutated and wasn't the same.
Okay. I've got some links I'm taking in right now, but... Well, we probably did end up losing a few Einsteins in the 65 million people that have been aborted since Roe v. Wade came into existence in America. Our country would have 65 million more people. We'd have 400 million people here right now if Roe v. Wade had not been put into place. Now, I don't want to murder babies either, but that's why I'm in favor of a first trimester law where women can decide up to 20 weeks whether they're going to have that baby or not. And that gives them a chance to fulfill their decision to terminate the life of the fetus. The fetus is only this big at 20 weeks, and it doesn't even have a cerebrum. No pain centers in their brain. My question to all of you people...
I'm so sorry that happened to you, Xenu. If
He was
that
a
really
mistake,
happened to
really?
you, I'm sorry that your mother said that. Hopefully she really didn't mean it and
Yeah.
only said it in like a bit of frustration and, and hopefully she's provided enough for you and that you can overlook her frustration.
Okay, if you were allowed to catch measles at a young age, it protects you from all types. It's a much stronger immunity than from vaccines. I see your point.
Oh.
And that was why the Brady Bunch, they actually have a scene where they talk about everyone wanted to get the measles so they'd be immune to the measles in the future. Yes, I believe that the top investigator is now throwing us a curveball on the Epstein case, claiming it was not a suicide, it was a homicide. That's a side note. The real issue is, why doesn't his body match the person we know as Jeffrey Epstein? That's the real question, not whether he was murdered or not. He was obviously murdered, this person. There was bruising on his face and a broken neck. But the real question is, why is he not matching Jeffrey Epstein's face? And how come a coroner can't determine that? We, the public, the court of public opinion, can rule that Epstein is probably still alive. That's my opinion.
Maybe you are the next Einstein.
Yeah, but maybe the next
start
Einstein
thinking.
can't solve the problems that are facing the world, because the next Einstein couldn't even have a forum to talk, because the next Einstein is probably censored.
Because the next Einstein has people like me talking over them, and I'll stop.
Not necessarily. No, your tomato sandwich is in the kitchen, and I turned the heater on for you, so enjoy. I wish I could have made you something much more advanced, but it's a light affair. You know, I had one.
Yeah.
It'll kind of fulfill the need for food with healthy ingredients. Tomato sandwiches are very simple. Okay, I think we've got real interesting theories that there are fires starting everywhere in California.
And there's a smaller one to the left that's now in the center of your screen. Up here, there's a huge one right in there that started a little bit later last night and is still having explosions around it. That one started in the middle of the night, and then that black spot you see pop up is a new explosion close to that location. You need to get a map out if you're anywhere in this area. You can go to this website right here, weather.cod.edu, and look for their map. It's on there, and you can weather.cod.edu.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Yeah, I'm going to try to get on the screen with it. I'm going to type it in there, see if I can get it. Yeah, I want to see this map too. I'll take it off the screen so you can look at me instead. Yeah. Well, I'm sure if other people tune in, we'll find out what's going on. The fires are all over the place in California now. The winds are just pushing them everywhere. How they're starting is really the big question. How come not one arsonist was arrested over the past 3 years in California? Over the Woolsey fire, the Paradise fire, and countless other fires. And now this fire, the Kincade fire. I mean, it's obvious there's something more than just some arsonist doing this. And we're not idiots. The human population could look at the things in the news and realize, wait a second, something's not right here. It's not right here in River City. Yeah, here we go, the satellite radar map. Excellent. So we're going to take a look at that right now. Excellent. All right, we're going to have to advertise some College of DuPage. No. Okay, you're looking at the map right there. Yeah, you can zoom in on it and look over time. Yeah, there's definitely things happening. Nuke Kong Island. Where's Kong Island? David, can we see you do 20 good push-ups? You sure could, yeah. There's plenty of film of me out there doing it. Go to YouTube and Google David doing push-ups. You'll see what you'll see. I'm not making anything, Max. Tomorrow's going to be no dinner. Oh, Max left. Okay. Yeah, well, he won't be seeing me dinner. I'm just going to start the Trump Stump Halloween show. So here's the link if you guys want to get to it. Check it out yourself. I did the hard work of typing it in. There you go. Yeah, it's happening. Fires a brewing. These fires are flaming up everywhere. You see, over time, it's just crazy. That's crazy. I'll definitely add that loop to our show tonight, too, and put it in an environment. I was trying to get the 153 News picture of the blue lights that came down during the Paradise Fire, and I'm going to have to go to 153 News and look up my... This is the big news here, though. There's a big contradiction between the NSC official, Alexander Vindman, and Rick Perry. The testimony appears to contradict, and Rick Perry's claims about Ukraine are different than Vindman's. Vindman claimed that Perry was at a meeting where Biden probe was discussed, which Perry has repeatedly denied. You don't recommend looking for spine push-ups? Why not? Yeah, well, you can certainly look. It won't hurt you. Alexander Vindman, the top Ukrainian expert at the National Security Council, revealed in the testimony to Congress that he twice reported President Donald Trump's pressure on Ukraine as a potential national security risk. President Donald Trump's pressure on Ukraine as a potential national security risk, and said that key quotes referred to former Vice President Joe Biden and Burisma, the Ukrainian firm whose board included Biden's son Hunter, who were omitted from the partial transcript of Trump's July 25th call, where he claimed he didn't do any quid pro quo. So you're telling me that Donald Trump altered the record of the transcript? Oh my gosh, talk about obstruction of justice and misuse of power. Can you believe this? It appears that Donald Trump altered the transcript of the July 25th call. Doesn't that piss you off? He thinks he can get away with anything. I would never kill babies, no. I'm against abortion, but many people who want pro-choice, really, they're laughing at you for not being a pro-vaxxer. Well, let them laugh, Zeno. Stand up against them. And why are you taking a class? I thought you were independently wealthy and had lots of money. And now you're on Medicare, affordable health care. I don't know. Your story's not adding up. In 50 years, I've not seen such injuries in a suicide hanging. It took this guy that long to come up with this story that Jeffrey Epstein may have been killed. This is called a side lie. Instead of addressing the real issue, the pathologist didn't even match his face. He's simply saying now that he was killed. And he signed off on a suicide coroner's report, and now he's saying it was wrong. Oh, come on. His testimony's garbage. The guy's committing felonies left and right, trying to cover up for the entire coalition of conspirators that are killing off people, or not killing off people in the case of Jeffrey Epstein. How can I prove that the record was altered when the Ukrainian president said it was legit? I don't know. If a guy, he's not some joke. Army Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, he and his brother work there. They're twins. And they both have excellent work histories and records beyond reproach. And he's saying this is damning evidence for Trump. Changing the testimony, deleting certain things. Oh my God. That reminds me of that song, Oh My God, You Got the Power. Remember that one? It's called Mother and Daughter with Miley Cyrus. Oh my God, you got the power. This is it. That's all I can show you. Otherwise, I would not meet and comply with Digital Millennium Copyright Act requirements. Odin was looking at me. Okay. You buy a plan from the ACA Marketplace, which is for mental health, so my dominatrix visits are covered. That seems a little sketchy, Zeno. A person with your kind of capital doesn't have to buy a plan to hire a dominatrix to stand over him and whip him. You're making all this up. And there is no plan out there that'll cover your psychiatric treatment by a sex therapist who's your dominatrix. Are you off on some tangent or what? Medveral says they both have an agenda because they were working for Poroshenko before and wanted Zelensky out. Okay. I see your point. Well, if it is obvious to you, I'm sorry, but you're believing that they're ganging up on Donald Trump. Is that it? Okay. Oh, it's all a Russian hoax. It's all fake news. Everything that says I'm guilty is all fake news. All right. An Antarctic ice age is key to triggering ice ages. Oh, sea ice is key to triggering ice ages, a study finds. He said he wanted to change the testimony and did not have a chance. He circles the passages he wants to change, but it didn't. Donald said there's no quid pro quo. And we heard from Mulvaney just a couple days ago, his chief of staff, that there was quid pro quo. Mulvaney said that Donald was not going to give millions of dollars, $400 million to the Ukrainian president unless he stopped corruption in his country of Ukraine. That's a quid pro quo, and Mulvaney said that. But now they're saying that no, it wasn't just about corruption. It was really just about Biden and Hunter Biden. And some of the Republicans are saying, well, Hunter Biden is not running for office, so he could find out information about Hunter Biden and use that to hold up the money to Ukraine. I mean, these Republicans are like squirming like sneaky snakes right now, trying to get ground, while it looks clearly a slam dunk that Donald Trump definitely had a quid pro quo regarding the Bidens. End of story. Can we move on and start helping this country? That's why we're doing a tribute tomorrow to Trump Stump. The man who can't get anything done, who just sits there and talks all the time. Oh, I'm saving America. Oh, I'm stopping the deep state. Oh. It's like the people around him are so sucking up to him. It looks like they're giving him a hand job. Look at that. Jeez. They talk about suck-ups. What is this OK sign all about anyway? I heard it says something to do with white supremacy. Yeah, that's what I heard. So we've got the Trump Stump ready to go tomorrow. I'll be playing a stump and Sarah will be a tree. David, are you deep state? Do I look like deep state? I'm just an average looking person with a face very much like yours. Human, just like you. They were giving him a hand job. Yeah, you could tell that. Meta-Nemesis knows. All deals offered are not due without conditions. How are you? I don't know. All I know is that Donald Trump is flip-flopping like a sneaky snake in the grass. I'm not deep state, I'm deep stump. That's right, Max. Trump is very jealous of me because I obviously look better than he does. But that's not a big deal. I've got other things up my sleeve that make me much more powerful as a potential candidate. I watch Miley Cyrus videos. Yeah, that makes me different. Most people don't do that. Medveral, what do you have? This better be good. Well, let's be clear. We had a group of, wow. Not sure why you got John Robinson. We had a death today. I should talk about that. John Witherspoon has passed away, everyone. He's a rising comedian who had numerous deals lined up. He had a YouTube cooking show. We're going to even finish. We're going to talk about the cooking show tonight in our after show. But he has died at 77. Breaking news. He was a veteran actor and comedian, best known for starring as Mr. Jones in Friday movies and voicing Gramps on the Boondocks. He has passed away today, or yesterday, at 77 years old. Yeah, I didn't catch a lot of his work, but there's his lovely wife who's dealing with the terrible loss of her husband. And they were inseparable. John Witherspoon made a comment on his YouTube cooking show that he wasn't going to be back. So many people are believing that he may have prophesied his own destiny. There are some of his kids. This man was funny. We'll play that tonight too.
Let me tell you something. A lot of people don't know this about me. I was back in the civil rights movement with Martin Luther King.
He was back in the civil rights movement with Martin Luther King. We'll take a look at him and his tragic life, or his happy life that was a tragic ending, a little bit later. Many people at the National Security Agency are upset that Donald Trump is handing over secrets like how they took out Baghdadi. Yeah. And giving up too much information is not something our president should do. Trump literally talked about all the things that happened, like up close and personal, leaving out no questions as to what procedures they followed, which kind of shows our hand to our enemies, you know? The old expression, loose lips sink ships, can definitely apply here. Please stick to questions about politics. This is your mutable offense time. Well, Drag King is doing everything he can to just be angry. That's what he does the best. Drag King, if you understand him, he's primarily concerned about the environment. He really is a guy who has links up the yin-yang on dead fish and dead birds. I mean, you want dead fish links, he's got them. No, he's got deeper context. Yeah, that's right. Okay, what do you have? Facebook. Does this mean this is in my timeline now that I'm clicking on this link? Pentagon releases video of raid that killed ISIS leader Baghdadi. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we can at least look at the Pentagon's Fox News feed. Okay, here's what appears to be an attack on somebody somewhere. U.S. Special Operations Force moved an objective in the compound occupied by Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Here they are. You can see the dithered photograph. Following the raid, the U.S. Special Operations Forces deployed precision munitions from a remote piloted aircraft to destroy the compound and its contents. There it is. Now, we can't verify that al-Baghdadi's there or died at 5 or 6 of the other places he died at over the past couple of years, the news reported. This isn't the first time al-Baghdadi's died. He's died numerous times. Well, let's be clear. We're going to get to the bottom of that question there, Dave. Look at that close-up of something on Fox News. So they can show you something and then you go buy Colgate. Okay, we'll click that in just a bit. Here are the many times that al-Baghdadi's died. Well, let's be clear. He died in 2016, killed in a U.S. airstrike. And he supposedly killed by Russian airstrike as well. All these things are allegedly news items that have been recorded of his death. So what's really going on in the Middle East? Well, I have a little picture that was sent to me by Blue Raven today that clarifies the whole deal. This talks about it in detail. Who's behind ISIS? Is it the Israeli Secret Intelligence Service, or is this some real threat, a caliphate? Well, according to this article, or this meme, it's Israel, U.S., NATO, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey that are behind the ISIS actions. Groups and individual donors within these nation states have vested interest in keeping the war on terror alive and well for as long as possible, alive and well for as long as possible, and so as to further their agendas. And what are their agendas? Financial gain, arms sales, control of regional resources like water, engineering of political and racial tension, justification for mass surveillance and monitoring of the global population, and centralization of power, which is exactly what the New World Order agenda is. So you got to ask yourself, is this really a plot or a plan to create an enemy that doesn't exist in order to go ahead and build up militarily and then take over regions and dominate globally? I think the answer is yes. I unbanned everybody. That's right. So come on in. Yeah, birds can't fly with their feathers burnt off. I know. Cartoons they could. But no, it's highly unlikely birds carried the fire to 300 different areas. I'm not going to even play the bird video. I did unban all, yes. I told you earlier I made a decision to do it. Well, let's be clear. So there are a lot of things missing in the picture about all the radiation and the radioactive waste that's flying around us. Yesterday we showed you a photograph or a video taken off the coast of California of just amounts of radiation detected on meters. We talked about that yesterday. We also have test results on the effects of Wi-Fi from Chuck Grouden here. Chuck, go ahead and tell us about microwave radiation, RF, EMF.
Most frequent questions we get here in our service is, how can I resolve my Wi-Fi troubleshooting problems? People lose signal or a device stops connecting. So I decided in order to answer that question with any authority, I needed to look a little bit further into this whole Wi-Fi thing.
Well, good for you, Chuck. We'll have to look into that with you later, because I don't have time for you to talk that slow. Apparently there's non-ionizing and ionizing radiation we have to be worried about.
Pads, TVs, computers, gaming consoles, they all produce some sort of EMF radiation.
Good to know. Too bad they didn't say that on the label when we bought them, huh, Chuck?
Human exposure to radiation used to be intermittent, but now it's more constant than ever.
No kidding. I mean, I even feel it when I'm standing next to the microwave. I have to walk away and my heart starts palpitating.
Of radiation. So you need to be concerned if nothing else. We don't know if it's causing any cancer or immune system.
I think we do know that, Chuck. I think we can assume that it's causing cancer. Everybody drops dead near these things. Forget Chuck, okay? But thanks for the tips. He must be an authority. He has a lab coat on, exactly. Hey, I heard Greta Thunberg denied this big, huge ecology award, and this is another clue as to how rich she really is. She turned down a $67,000 environmental award, criticizing the Nordic posturing. Can you believe this? I mean, this woman, I'm going to call her a woman because she's, be tried as an adult if this turns out to be a scam. But this woman has absolutely shocked the world with the theory that somehow she went across the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, by herself in her own vessel. Yet there are no photographs of her landing and no photographs of her out there in the middle of the ocean. It's kind of hard to believe that she's real.
My message is that we'll be watching you.
Well, we're watching you, young lady, and I can tell you there are no photographs that I've seen of you actually crossing the ocean, yet you say you crossed the ocean in your own boat. Well, this girl obviously has a lot of money. Yeah, this is not some joke. This is serious. She could even be a princess for all we know. How dare she?
Are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction.
If we are in the beginning of a mass extinction, all the birds well, they are all dying. 85% of the birds in North America are dying, so she's right about that. If we were in the middle of a mass extinction in California and it would be burning up, well, it is burning up. Could it be the people setting the fires are actually the ones behind this theory that global change is happening? Yeah, that's what I think. I can't tell you if I have crossed the world in my own boat, because if I had, it would be a top secret information. I wouldn't tell you, would I? Hey, Scruffy, we take all these things, and by the way, your IP address and the VPN out of Scotland is being recorded right now, but I don't have any access to it. The NSA is watching you. Yeah. So just so you know, we got you. If you get a call or a knock at the door in the next couple of days with guys in black coats, tell your mom you're just crapping in your pants and you have to go change your underwear. Yeah, you will be hunted down by the NSA because they have full records access to Vaughn's chat and everything. Oh yeah, it's out there. I don't look at your VPN. I don't look at any of that. Well, their government is listening. In case you're wondering if any agency is listening to you when you call or ask questions, yes. When you get on the phone, the government is listening. The NSA hears you. That's right. You have a friend in the NSA. They care about you. Isn't that nice? Everything is beautiful in its own special way. AI is documenting every move. Maybe you're AI, Hovey. Are you AI? Hovey, I have seen you in the show 4 or 5 times. You have been in at the same time. Are you not AI? You seem to be AI. You could be AI. You are not AI. I am real. I'm human. I'm so glad to tell you that because many people don't believe me. Bannable Offense has just banned himself again. I know, it's crazy. That's crazy. I'm looking for my threat list. There it is. Pulling up threat list. Current threat list on demand. I have so many threat lists, I had to pull up the most recent one. It's not easy. There it is. Took forever. Okay. $7:30. Okay, we got you. You'll be receiving a message at the front door in a couple weeks. Be sure to cooperate with the public officials. You will be sent to a questioning area and probably dealt with accordingly. Well, it's not going to happen under Trump. You know that I'm going to have to order the NSA to actually research all that. Guess 555. Trump won't do it. Trump likes this whole thing of censorship. He's enjoying it. You notice how Trump doesn't talk a lot about all the conservatives that support him who are being censored on YouTube and Twitter? I know. It's terrible. Communism is bad. I'm against communism. You can reverse the effect of chemtrails. Well, one of the things you can do is get on a strict organic diet. Eat organic food and crap a lot. Drink purified water and, of course, urinate. There are things you can do to get rid of heavy metals in your body. I have a particular tool that I use, which you can get on eBay. It's pretty affordable. They're ion exchange detoxes that you can use. And these have been around in China for years. Yeah. Let me take you to a typical unit. Here's what I have at my home. It's $84 and it comes with a really nice steel case. It's very nice. It works too. And you hook the unit up with your feet in the water, and what happens is your feet are semi-permeable membranes, and the low-level electric charge goes through your body from your arm or your back, where a belt sits around your back, and it slowly pulls that heavy metals out of your skin. And you're going, what? Are you sure? It's true. So look up Ion Cleanse on eBay. Now, Misanthropy says we're down, but I see video going up. Is video off? You bought one 4 years? Oh no, 12. You got to use it regularly. No, that's not true. No. The theory is that the coil is getting rusty and it's just coming off in the water. No. There's a reason. Though the reason, if you have two different people use the same unit within one of each other, they'll have almost a different result. It does show radically different results for different people. That alone defeats your argument. Anyway, well, you're not using it right then. We've had nothing but success. It's absolutely amazing. In fact, after we do an ion cleanse, our bodies feel refreshed and rejuvenated. I seriously think you may have misused it. Misanthropy has free open source software. How nice. I can't believe that. You didn't use it properly. There's no way. We just basically had different results from everybody that used it in front of me. I saw massive changes. I mean, one person had foam on their water. Another person had black specks in the orange water. Another person had, there's all these different effects that apparently people's metabolism are different, right? Well, I don't know, Max, maybe you didn't use it right. I have the fruit enzyme spray right here. I've been using it. It's got a fresh batch the other day. I added my fruit enzyme with my 10 parts of Fountain of Youth water. Well, I don't know, Max. I mean, look at yourself in the mirror and ask, have you used it? And then I can answer my own questions when I look at myself in the mirror and I say, I feel better. You know, I used it. I don't eat a lot of bowls of cereal. Yeah. I minimize, my cereal addiction is down to like 1 bowl max per day. Now you use it on over 1,200 people. Your story is getting bigger and bigger. I don't know, man. It works great for me, and I feel so much better after. And I've asked Sarah, "Do you feel better after using it?" She said, "Yeah, I feel better." It's like a battery charger, very low level. It goes through your body, and you know your skin is a semi-permeable membrane. You know that, right, Max? You realize that, right? Well, apparently all the older people were too far gone, and there was no electrolyte activity in their bodies, so they were probably on their way out anyway. Yeah, you probably used it on a bunch of people that were like walking cadavers. It's bound to not work there. Well, I'm sure you do. I know how it works. I don't mean to offend you, but it worked great for us. I've never had a problem. When I said buy peanut butter and crackers, you went out and bought them? Wow. I think they're having a difficult time DDoSing me. The video will just cut out for a second or two, then come back. Well, sugary coconut, yes. We have a copy of that too. Yeah, you're banned, but the simple fact is, guys, you're not going to be able to get near me. For one, I'm more than capable of defending myself, and we, of course, have the castle law in our country. And I can defend my castle as if it's, you know, the last safe place I can live. And sure enough, I can use deadly force if I feel trapped and in mortal danger. So, yeah, here you are sending death threats to a guy who has the training and marksmanship of a sharpshooter. I could blow a gerbil's ass out at 200 feet with a handgun with one eye closed. So don't mess around with people like me, buddy. Yeah, you're messing with the best. Well, I'm sorry that you never used it. I think that may have contributed to your problems. You blew it off 12 years ago, and then what happened? You ended up having a stroke? Yeah. And then you didn't use it then, and then you died for 18 minutes? You were dead for 18 minutes, and you're saying it didn't work at all? Well, then use it! My God, you didn't use it, and look at all the things that happened to you. Look at me, I feel like I'm 25 years old, and I look like I'm at least maybe 65. But, yeah, maybe you're not a stable enough genius to understand the miraculous cleansing power of the Electro Quack 2000. Well, we got a lot of things to talk about. Trump's press secretary hasn't said anything to anybody about anything. And I finally ran it down who she was, and I tweeted about this today. Turns out it's this woman. Yeah, Stephanie Grissom has been this press secretary for Donald Trump, and she hasn't done any press secretarying. People are wondering, who is she? Well, here she is.
Again, and again, it's why they're doing all of this behind closed doors.
How annoyed is he and other members of the administration right now with some of these, well, with what's going on, and with I guess as he would see it, Republicans that are not really coming to his aid?
Well, I would say after yesterday, a lot of Republicans really stepped up with, doing their sit-in, and I think a lot of Republicans have stepped up. There are a few who aren't for whatever reason. That's okay. Again, the president is confident in the fact that he did nothing wrong, and our message is simple: we're going to continue to work. It's what we've always done, and this president has been under attack before he was elected.
Sure.
You know, there's so many people like her that really love Trump, and you know, she worshipped him, and she literally is standing there staring at him like he's God. Look at how she's looking at him. And she said he's just too much of a genius for the rest of us to understand what he's saying. She said that. Well, I got a rule for her that she might want to listen to. If you can listen to Trump speak without thinking he sounds like an idiot, then you're an idiot. Okay? So it's very likely she is an idiot. She hasn't spoken hardly at all to anybody. I mean, what kind of a press secretary is that? This has been since August. I don't know, man. We were so addicted to listening to Sarah Huckabee Sanders as she roamed around like a moose in the forest answering questions. And then answering them in such a way that you began to dislike women. Yeah. Started to think that, are all women like this woman? I mean, seriously. Yeah. Okay, Zone Minder, what do you got? I would never eat anything like ice cream or that's sugar. Sugar kills. Cut back on sugar, man. Be careful. Well, don't tell Max to take a colossal grain of salt when he's watching our show. That's a kickable offense. Max, let me ask you a question. Did you put Epsom salt in the water of that bath? Did you use Epsom salt? Because you do need to use a few grains of salt in the water for it to work. I hope you know that, right? You need to activate the electrochemical process that's in the water. And Epsom salt works great. He's asking himself, well, I don't remember if I did any Epsom salt, Dave. Yeah, it won't work without Epsom salt. Poor guy. He had this thing for 12 years. He never used it right. Well, yeah, did you use any Epsom salts? What kind of salt did you use? Iodized, non-iodized, Himalayan sea salt? Salt from the back of some toxic waste dump? No problem. I'm glad you could come in. I unbanned everybody today to kind of increase the overall presence of our show. I know if you got the manual, that's great, but use Epsom salt. Give it one more try. It may save your life, Max. Seriously. I'm not offering any cures, though, and I'm in no way providing medical advice. President, you're dining in the fabulous Largo this evening. You're in the monitors of 7 to 22 in the VIP lounge. I made it to the VIP lounge at the fabulous Largo, everyone. Is that in Fargo? Largo? Good evening, everybody, from the fabulous Largo, where everyone's tipping their vodka tonics and going, oh, I should have ordered Bombay gin as opposed to vodka. I'll never forget having Bombay gin and tonics with my employers. I think it was 1984. And they were both just drunk off their ass, talking about how they thought that aliens would be coming very soon to the planet. They said, yeah, Dave, we've had this really mind-opening spiritual experience as they were drinking their Bombay gin and tonics. It's like, yeah, really? And aliens are going to be arriving anytime soon. No kidding. Wow. This is before drones. We didn't even know about drones back in the 80s. Nobody ever talked about this. Yeah. And they said, yeah, there's going to be an alien event. Well, maybe there is an alien event. It just happens that we have weird people running for president right now, like Beto O'Rourke, who has a criminal record, driving while intoxicated and burglary. And he's the guy who wants to take away all our guns, our last line of defense against aliens. I saw about your DDoS attempt that spontaneously cuts the stream for a few seconds. I know all about the DDoS attack. What do you think I've been fighting all night, Misanthropy? My goodness, I read everything. There isn't one stitch of chat that I don't read. Not only did he have a criminal record and wants to ban your guns, which what criminals want to do, right? They want to get rid of your guns. But he was in a hit and run accident where he nearly killed a bunch of people. He ran into a truck, went right across oncoming traffic, could have killed lots of people. That's a mutable offense. You can't use the N-word here. And then he tried to flee from the crime with 0.134 alcohol. And he also wrote a story, right, Max? He wrote a story when he was younger as a hacker. He wrote a story about how he wanted to murder children. Anyway, try Epsom salt and that stuff, Max. It might help you one more time. Give it one last chance. And his name wasn't even Beto. That's right, Hobie. It was Rob, whatever his name was. Anyway, the Democrats put him out there because they could only find one person that even remotely looked like me. They realized about 8 years ago that I was a star on the horizon, and they wanted to squelch and stop me. So they came up with this guy who has a similar look about him. Yeah, it's a similar facial look. I don't know what it is, but you know, you look at him and you say, well, wow, the Democrats must have really dug deep in the bottom of the barrel to pull out this scumbag. And he looks great, you know, because obviously I look a lot like him, but, you know, of course I like the way people like that look because I look that way myself, but I don't want to take away your guns. I'm not going to take away your guns. I don't care if you think that I look like Beto O'Rourke. I am not going to take away your guns, okay? Get that through your thick heads, everybody. I'm not like Donald Trump. Thank you. Donald Trump wants to instigate red flag laws that... I don't drink beer. He wants to instigate red flag laws that if your kid calls up for therapy or something because they're feeling suicidal, you won't be able to have a gun in the house. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Slowly eroding your free speech and your freedom of right to bear arms. Rex is back trying to attack Misa. I know. You're trying to rag on Misa now, Rex. And you came in thinking they rag on you, so now you're ragging on them. And now you got Rex Online ragging on Rex 360. Boy, I opened up a can of worms when I unbanned all. I only think there's two genders, but I do accommodate for hermaphrodites and hermaphrodite. Yes, if many of you are familiar with hermaphrodite in Greek history, you know all about the being with two genitals. But mostly male and female are the two genders in my book. If you want to say there's 150 genders, that's right. That's whatever you want to do. Hey, I've got a video to play of a guy who's crying. Yeah, a judge was crying today over being turned down for his appointment as Donald Trump's judicial nominee. And he was asked about LGBTQ, and his stance was pretty fair, I thought. But, yeah, 3 hours ago we had Trump's judicial nominee. Here's USA Today. He cried today because he felt so disappointed.
My friends, including myself, are part of the LGBT community, and it's really important to me that they feel safe and welcome in the country that they live in, and that their well-being is cared for and taken care of in the workplace. And it's just really sad that a lot of people are now using science to really
Americans are Americans and deserving of civil rights just as any others, and I hope that the Trump administration realizes that we're never going to back down.
And nor should they back down fighting for their rights. It's just not one of the issues that I support. I'm not against people who are gay, but I can tell you I don't think it's appropriate. We're not allowed to use the N-word here. I don't think it's appropriate to push for transgenderism for all. you know? So let me get that clip. I haven't gotten the clip of the guy crying yet. Here we go. I'm still waiting. Surely I have it here somewhere. What is wrong with these people? I mean, all I'm looking for is a YouTube link. Judge crying. I mean, come on. They just give you still pictures of today. What's wrong with the AI system here? That's really disturbing. I watched it today, no problem, and now I'm having a problem with it. Let's do it. Okay.
Compassion in the courtroom. But I understand that there is a chance that you're going to go back to.
Oh, it's a Washington Post, and they want to charge it. They want to monetize it. Wow, I can't even play it. Unbelievable. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a link to it. So if any of you get the link of Judge Lawrence Van Dyke up for the judgeship crying. What a sad thing that we can't get things on demand like I'm supposed to get. Use incognito mode to bypass those paywalls. Do I have that on Chrome? I don't know. Where is incognito mode? I don't see it. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, I'm just surprised I couldn't get a single link that played, you know? Well, this is the guy apparently that cried. He was really upset that he didn't have the job. He's the 9th. Circuit nominee cries under scrutiny. Yeah, I think it's a crime to have a news article without the actual photograph. I'm going to give you the password to my computer. Okay, let's do that. The password is PASSWORD. If you need any help with that, I can remember it easier if I could just give it to you directly. I know. 3 little dots and pick new incognito window, or the keyboard press Control N. Okay. Going to the last link I could find. Let's take a look. Nope. Incognito mode will not block the Washington Post ad descript. It won't knock it out. Control Shift and N. Okay. There it is. You got incognito. Thank you. It worked. You're awesome. Thanks for giving me the Control Shift N. I'll never forget that. Here we go. Thank you. Here he is, Lawrence Van Dyke. Now, they've disabled the video player. It's playing.
The letter also says that you would not commit to being fair to litigants before you, notably members of the LGBTQ community. Can you speak to that? Did you say that you wouldn't be fair to members of the LGBT community?
Senator, that was the part of the letter. I did not say that. I apologize.
It's all right.
I'm sorry. No, I did not say that. I do not believe that. It is a fundamental belief of mine that all people are created in the image of God. They should all be treated with dignity and respect. Senator.
Can you commit today to this committee that you will treat, if confirmed, that you would treat every litigant who came before you with respect and with dignity?
Absolutely, Senator. I would not have allowed myself to be nominated for this position if I did not think I could do that.
Including members of the LGBT community and any other community that has been historically disadvantaged in this country?
Absolutely, Senator.
This is our humble abode. We've got a sleeping bag.
Wow. Well, he didn't get that. He didn't get that job. My 59 emails. No, you're not going to get me to check my 59 emails. No, those are constantly accruing. What's with all those people saying Joe Biden is a great man? If we are allowed to insult Joe Biden on this show, I'd like to do so, but we'll refrain from until I get Dave's approval. At last time I was muted for doing so. You can definitely come down hard on Joe Biden since he hasn't invited me to join him on his team. So, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, feel free to rake on Joe Biden. I can't believe Joe Biden hasn't made a big issue of Elizabeth Warren lying about being a Cherokee Indian and getting all that money to go to college. You know that she has $12 million now? That's she and her husband have a net worth of $12 million that she got in the backs of lying about being Cherokee Indian. Cherokee Nation. You died when your pet had cancer, and oh yeah, that can happen. Some people cry when they drink. Maybe the guy had a couple beers or something and felt really, sad. No, I'm not in any way a Democrat, bad dog. That's just derogatory and disgruntled. You're just angry because I'm a centrist. Well, that's okay. Breaking news. More CIA whistleblower worked with the DNC operative Alexandra Chalupa in creation of the Trump-Russian collusion hoax. Sure. Go ahead. Find somebody who might be guilty of something and then try to disregard all this preponderance of evidence that Donald Trump has been working with Russia to rig the election. Oh, sure. Find some poor innocent young lady who happens to have a nice smiling face and blame it all on her. Whatever gets you through the night. It's all right. It's all right. This picture came up from, we're talking about wasteful spending in the government. Well, this is a government-generated photograph of an alien on Mars. This is what they do. The government puts out pictures that have these little things in there. And I'm sorry, but first of all, I don't believe the Mars rover took this picture. I also believe it's photoshopped. I can see anti-aliasing all around it. There's no way that some photos sent back by Curiosity show that what looks like an armored alien soldier keeping an eye on the Curious rover. Is NASA under surveillance? I don't know. No, I think somebody photoshopped that in. I don't believe it. I'm going to disregard that as propaganda. The Devil's Rejects. Oh, I haven't read this. House of a Thousand Corpse Star died from heart-lung failure. Death certificate reveals. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that kind of looks like he would be dead from... And then Barack Obama quoted today that he challenges the woke culture. And I actually tweeted today, I said, how can he be woke? How can he be woke at all? What did I say? Let's see. Obama commenting on the term woke is absurd, I said. A man who allegedly lied about his religion, his birthplace, and his sexual behavior is hardly an expert on woke. Hashtag birther. The least used hashtag on Twitter now is hashtag birther. Anyway, I just thought that was kind of hilarious. Now, this is a story I don't think anybody can miss. MIT researchers want to build a database of human excrement and are seeking and asking people to send them photos of their bowel movements for analysis. That's right. You saw it here. Yeah, Obama was born in Kenya. You know he was. But whatever, you're just probably an ex-Democrat. Yeah, and his drug use with Larry Sinclair. Good point. America is the best. So look at this. MIT, they want your fecal matter and pictures of your fecal matter. Isn't that exciting? You have a job waiting for you. You could be a fecal donor at your local hospital too. Researchers want 100,000 photos of feces to train an AI system. The project is run by Ogi, an MIT startup, and Seed, a microbiome company. The team puts the photos into one of the 7 types using the Bristol stool scale, rating the kind of stool you have. So yeah, this is a great opportunity for people to really get their stools out and expose their excrement to the world at large. Don't miss this fantastic opportunity with MIT. The same people that received money from people like Jeffrey Epstein to create a genius DNA pool. Who doesn't want that? And now, by popular demand, we bring you the legendary homosexual and blowjob artist, Larry Sinclair. Many people are worried right now that Larry is not with us, but he is in spirit, so don't worry. Here is testimony from Larry Sinclair of what happened to him in a limousine in Gurnee, Illinois, in front of a Comfort Inn.
Where Senator Obama exited the limousine with $250, which was provided to him by me. Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. I did ingest a couple of lines of cocaine, and shortly thereafter, Senator Obama produced a glass cylinder pipe and packet of crack cocaine from his pocket. Obama then smoked the crack cocaine. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine, after which I had the driver take me to my hotel, the Comfort Suites, Gurnee, Illinois.
Yeah, so there you have it. The truth about Barack Obama and his homosexual love partner, Larry Sinclair. So they are developing smart toilets that will be able to analyze your stool and determine your needs, your vitamin deficiencies, your electrolyte counts. These are things that are important, and even a precursor to intestinal cancer. Colon cancer can be seen in the stools, and I think we should take this seriously. Yeah, so I'm not poo-pooing the idea, pun intended. But the reality is, MIT is going to let the AI system look at it. You're not going to be able to see your neighbor's stools. You won't be able to look up, Joe Blow's stools down the street. So don't worry. Your stools are safe with us. So let's not poo-poo any ideas that are related to poo-poo. And yeah, I agree. Obama should be arrested for fraud. I agree. I know. Wasn't I funny there? I have the ability to be funny sometimes, but don't tell anybody, because right now the drones are watching and I don't want them to know. Or they'll send me out to some godforsaken place in Vegas and I'll be Carrot Top or something. Although I look more like Beto O'Rourke than Carrot Top, but you never know. There could be a worse fate in life. I mean, the guy's made a fortune being Carrot Top. How can you not be like that? But tomorrow night I can be doing a Halloween show where I'll look very similar to Carrot Top. Don't worry. Yeah, the future is bright. I'll be doing a Trump stump impersonation. The Trump stump Halloween party starts at 5 o'clock tomorrow, in case you're wondering. But I made enough money in Vegas to do the show every day. And Dave, you can't stop me. No, I'm not Carrot Top, but thank you. He's too good looking to be anything like me. Whew. So I'm just concerned that that judge looked like he was legit when he was crying. He really looked like he cared. And look at those hardcore chicken hawk Republicans that were obviously closet homosexuals, acting like, oh, you'll never be a judge. Ha ha ha. We're Democrats. We control the plug on your career. And they basically pulled the plug on that good judge's career because maybe he said an offhanded statement about lesbians, gay, bi, transgenders at one time in his life. But that was held up against him, and his record as a judge was completely disregarded because some closet homosexual Democrat couldn't stand there for too long without criticizing the guy. Anyway, he cried. It's sad. I'm sorry. All right, we're going to get rid of that story and clean up this entire show so we don't have any weird things going on in the background.
Okay.
I'm trying to get rid of a few links for you.
That would be nice.
Stephanie Grisham has not spoken hardly at all in front of anybody. She's his press secretary. So, okay, Sarah's going to give you a little time. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be back.
That sounds like a plan. Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thanks. Vax 2, the people's truth. So the point you made was that you think that
I can tell you today, having
people being exposed to the real viruses is better for them than actual vaccinations. Even though sometimes the real viruses kill people. Wow. Xenu, you might want to say, Professor, would you mind reconsidering your own, possibly looking at your own, examining your own status of privilege? I mean, you are a professor after all, and I'm just a mere student. You're getting paid to be here, and I'm paying you for that privilege of your presence. Would you mind not calling me a goy? Thank you. You're up, and it's very late on the East Coast, Hovey. But here you are. I'm not asking for Grey Poupon. I'm just talking. America's the best one. Question mark? Sarah's here. Like, is that a question? Sarah's here? Sarah is here? I don't know. Streaky bacon. Okay, man, measles, and make-believe. Andrew Wakefield? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really trust Andrew Wakefield. But, whatever. Because, see, the thing about Andrew Wakefield, what I've read about him, is he was actually, so he did some research on vaccinations, and then they asked him to replicate his study, something normal scientists would do, with a larger population, and he's like, no, that's okay, I don't think I can actually do that. He was eventually removed from his position because he came to the United States and is not allowed to be a practicing doctor, by the way. For those reasons, though, misanthropy, like, you can't ever make a mistake, and our president did. Oh gosh, misanthropy, seriously. Salty, I'm really not in the mood for you. Go bother some other caster, thank you. Or some other woman. Or at least come back in 10 minutes. All right. I have not visited all 50 states, but I have visited quite a few. I have not visited Hawaii or Alaska, Michigan, Florida, even though my ancestors came from Florida or lived in Florida. I did, however, go to West Virginia this summer. So I think I'm up to maybe 46, maybe. No. I haven't been to Vermont. Yeah. I think I'm over 40 though. Anyway, I mean, Georgia, I will say oh no, you're right. I haven't done the Carolinas either. So maybe right around 40. Even though he was born in Hawaii, he said he went to all 57 states. Yeah. No, not me. You don't think you'll ever get through to me about vaccinations and your climate beliefs? Because as you say, I've been indoctrinated into certain things. And I generally do tend to believe the mainstream media, like many people in this room. So anyway, I believe I have an open mind, so you can try to get through to me. At least I don't completely cut off your attempts. What's wrong with the polio vaccine? I don't think anything is wrong with the polio vaccine. Well, I think I'm the main one, though, Misanthropy. I don't think anybody else is as strong on the mainstream media as I am, except the fact that it's kind of ironic I say that because I try to not actually watch or listen to a lot of news. Yes, it's good to take baths and wash yourself, and today I was just feeling really like, oh, I need a bath. So I took a nice bath. And then you can also take a shower. That's good. Exactly, America's the best one. Exactly. You think it's the people I hang out with. It's true. I probably am influenced by people I hang out with. That is true. Well, Hovey, I think you've come to the right place. You believe in a lot of what the people in this room believe in. Not necessarily what I believe in, though, because I'm like really status quo and really, whatever. Yeah, I'm a product of my environment. That's true. Why don't you take some soap and clean your lady, Streaky Bacon? Not with Streaky Bacon either. You know, maybe it's my family, though. I was hanging out with them quite a bit at that time, Misanthropy. And the fact is that I feel like one thing that I have kind of changed in the last few months is that I feel like I really need to speak up when I disagree. I think I've gone along for a long time with what David believes. Not that I've gone along with it, because in my being, I'm like, no, I don't believe that, but I'm just silent. And so therefore, it was before the summer, maybe. But over the summer, I really do feel like since the summer, I feel like I want to take a more active role in saying what I believe. And maybe it is how I was raised and what I expose myself to or things like that. But anyway. It was like, I have my master's, I must know better. It's more, maybe it is because I have my master's. Maybe it's given me confidence to say, well, there was this discussion David and I were having, and he said something that kind of really resonated or stuck with me, which was, I've always thought you implicitly agreed with me. And I'm like, no, I haven't. And that really made me realize, like, oh, I have to say I disagree, because my silence implies implicit agreement, and it's not the case. But yes. And that's why I don't talk about many subjects much. Yes, and you guys, that's why David's here, to talk about the subject you all agree with. Well, they do in other countries. America's the best one. Thankfully, they don't do that here. Probably. Probably not, Pirate. Anyway. I did go to a couple of trainings. The climate, I went to a couple of trainings called Climb Time, and that really changed my point. That did definitely change my point of view about climate science and climate change. Before, I was I hadn't really decided. I wasn't convinced that climate change was real until I went to those trainings. I will say that.
Did you see all these brochures that the people against I-976 are trying to fight? Look at all the money they put into stopping Tim Eyman from lowering our rates.
Wow.
Every one of these is like, oh, it's good to be critical of our transportation and funding projects. Yeah, the things that they're wasting money on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to lose that.
You think that's indoctrination camps? I don't know. No, it wasn't that. It definitely was. I was not forced to go there until I agree. I really go to places with an open mind. I'm like, well, I'll go and find out, and I like science, so I'll go and find out what they have to say, and there's a specific doctor from University of Washington Climate Impacts Group, and the way that she explained how they know about the carbon levels in the atmosphere definitely convinced me. Now, Greta Thunberg did not convince me that there's a problem. No, in fact, I really kind of dislike how she approached the entire issue. And one of the things, I'm a very green, environmentally friendly person. one thing I don't like is this idea of green shaming, or like, oh, you're not doing everything exactly right. We do the best we can with what we have. And I really believe that. And I also believe that we should not be trying to spray the atmosphere to solve the problem. That's just going to add more gases to the atmosphere that we don't know the results of those. And I also, I'm not convinced that lobbying and taxation will solve the problem either. Am I for green virtue signaling? I don't know what that means. Green virtue signaling, like showing that I'm green and I'm virtuous, that kind of thing? Maybe. I agree that we have to work on people higher up than the consumer to limit the plastic packaging, especially, and then I don't know which one of you brought up the whole idea of shrink wrap. Like, for me, when I think of a problem, I think of solutions to the problem. Oh, the green virtue signaling. Look at me, I have a paper straw. Well, I do believe in certain things that I do for greenness, which is like my composting and planting and things like that. But
I was looking at the size of these things. They come in two sizes, one for a full pallet and another for a half pallet.
do they have the ones I'm talking about?
No, you could build them, but what they have like two separate needs. It seems like they use it for half pallets in sections and full pallets. So it's like a half pallet size and a full pallet size would be probably two sizes. They could use them together. They could double them up if they had to.
It's good that you're mad, actually, Misanthropy. You're right that the problem, one of the biggest problems, is that our society is so wasteful. I mean, that is a huge problem. And you're right, like, it's not just like, oh, I have a cloth bag and oh, I'm using a paper straw when your cup is plastic, or, you know, it's just there. It is. That's one of the reasons I really like that whole KonMari thing about organization, and because it wasn't about organizing, it was about eliminating the need for stuff in your life to feel. And usually the problem with our society is that we have created a culture of consumption, conspicuous consumption, where it's like, look at me, look at what I bought today. And it's all because people crave attention, they crave some friendship, they crave people. They crave relationship and realness, and you know, we don't need all of this to surround ourselves with stuff. We do need to surround ourselves with people who support us and love us and listen to us, but the stuff is never going to fill the void that people feel. You crave being left alone, Rex. I don't know if you would be here if you really craved that. Rex Online and Rex 360. Well, many people are that way. America's the best one. But you're right. Americans tend to believe in themselves as rugged individualists and don't need a government to protect them and for them to depend on it. And that's one of the reasons that I believe we have the Second Amendment. Yeah, maybe I should ban you. Salty. I know you're always looking for a ban. It would take changing a way of life. You know, and I too am guilty of buying at least food items I probably don't need. My cupboards are full. I should probably eat the old olives or whatever is in my cupboard. I really should probably eat all of that rather than buy a new bag of chips. Yeah, that's a good point. It won't take that many changes, that's true. And what does Rex do in 360 degrees C? Yeah, you're right. I don't know if it is too bad that they'll be forced to change their way of living in the next 10 years. I don't know if it's bad or if it's good. I just know that it will be. It's like, I guess I really am. Quite a bit of me is an existentialist. I'm usually it's funny. I'm a blend of a realist, an existentialist, and an idealist all rolled into one. Well, and all that takes is the environment crashing.
Right. And we're all very close to the environment here. Yeah.
We will adapt, though. Humans are, we're intelligent. We will adapt.
Well, the fact is, climate change is like Russian roulette with our future. And you can call it weather modification if you want. Climate change, weather modification, it really doesn't matter what you call it. We're still seeing changes and somebody's causing them. And I don't think it's you or I. I don't think we're the culprit. So unlike Greta Thunberg, who wants to lay a guilt trip on the human race, I think it's the people that are funding her that are the culprits of this pollution. And the very thing that they're doing is spraying it on our heads and then claiming that we're responsible for it. So the Greta Nazi was put out there to promote using the same techniques that Hitler used to create fear. Notably, Nordic white girls with braids and red cheeks were often used in Nazi propaganda. It's an old Goebbels technique. Looks like today's progressive left is still learning its game from an earlier left in the 1930s. So pretty low ball move for these globalists to do, to push their tax and spend agenda. Speaking of wasteful spending, I mean, we've got tons of it out there right now. Our state of Washington is $89 billion in debt. And there's no end in sight. These democratically led liberal states like Washington, Oregon, Illinois, New York, Florida, they're all just spending way overboard, disproportionate to the rest of the country, by the way. Out in the Midwest, they spend money very cautiously. North Dakota is one of the most solvent states in the Union because they're very tight with their money. They're all Norwegians. They're all very careful, like I am. And we're not going to be able to get around the wasteful spending unless we take it head on and try to change the political chemistry of the state of Washington, state of Oregon, state of California. I don't think people in those states will go toward the right, personally, but I think they'll be talked into the center. I think we can talk them into being more cautious about the way they're wasting tax dollars. Whereas the Democrats just want to tax and spend. People don't want to be taxed forever and ever. When Greta turns 18, there'll be a huge demand to see her. She could actually enter competitions, Dancing with the Stars, mixed fighting. She could get into kickboxing. Yeah, that'd be great. Greta versus Tanya Harding. I know. That'd be a really good idea. They'd raise awareness, right? She just turned down $67,000 Greta Thunberg, an award that would have got her $67,000. Yeah, I mean, she's obviously from an elite group of people. Those Thunbergs must have serious cash, but no. Hey, here's Tanya after her years of, being a mother, and yeah, she was in Dancing with the Stars right there, Tanya Harding. Look at her. I didn't realize she did that. Yeah. Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan were posing together. Where are they now? Are they like really good friends now after she took a baseball bat to Nancy Kerrigan's legs and destroyed her career? That's too weird. I don't think they're friends. I can't imagine it. You know, I was one of those big supporters of Nancy Kerrigan. I just didn't want, she had such a great and hopeful view, and then this Tanya Harding just destroyed it. It's like the difference between good and evil. Good, evil. Good, evil. It's that simple. Yeah, life comes down to good and evil. It really does. And they're a classic example. Okay, moving on. Good versus evil, I know. You got the power. Yeah. You know, stop perpetuating the Rex Meeson thing. Those guys probably would like each other, someday in the future. Wow. That's horrible, misanthropy. You actually said that? Oh my goodness. Rex is hearing bad stuff about you. He came in the show last night and said, misanthropy has just been beat, blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking, no, he hasn't said anything bad about you recently, and then I see that. Apparently I missed that in chat. Wow. Oh, yes. So I don't really want to belabor the point that Donald Trump's little wicked web that he webbed. Why is Rick Perry quitting? After having to talk to Donald Trump about what he heard at the meeting and having to warp his views. You've got to understand, Rick Perry seems like a pretty serious guy and would never lie, cheat, or steal. And when he's around somebody who is on the dark side, he might have said something out of turn and recanted it. And this guy, this U.S. Energy Secretary, or the Army Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, contradicted him. And Rick says he knows what he saw. I know what I saw, Dave. I was there, Dave. I know what I saw. Well, maybe you weren't quite there at the time, Rick. Maybe you just stepped out for a while and went to the bathroom when that was going on. You know how when you got to take a pee out there in Texas, you can just whip it out there outside the window. Anyway, I'm not going to ban you for calling you a bitch. No, you have free speech here. You bitch. Rick Perry's quitting because he can't handle the steam and the heat and the frying pan and all that. Why do I keep slipping into a George W. Bush? Hey, that looks like fun. A cartoon for tonight? We're not 4 years old, dude. Yeah, I got news for you. Streaky Beacon, we're not 4 years old. If you're not 18, you can't even be in here, man. That's right. Rick Perry's not a real man like David Sponheim.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
That's a pretty funny little quote. Look at that. Check this out.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
That's pretty funny. Good timing, too. I don't do drugs, never have, never will. I'm like Sarah that way, except I have tried marijuana. And it's pretty good. It made me feel really good when I was younger. So I actually, when I turned 21, I said to myself, I'm going to do something different. And I tried marijuana. And I liked it. But I don't consider marijuana a drug. Now, this is Wasteful Wednesday, and I hope you understand that I want to create a solution-based plan for America that includes legalization of marijuana. Yeah, so I have a lot of reasons to support this, and it's not simply because it feels good and makes you, feel relaxed when you need to get high or relaxed, or if you're just stressed out in life. And yeah, so I'm not here to tell you what to do, other than, not vote for Trump in the upcoming election. I'm here because I support legalization of marijuana. Yeah, I never smoked marijuana with Laura. Yeah, I've got a lot of things we need to do. I'll find it when I get there. But full legalization of marijuana is part of the plan. That's me, Big Dave, and I'm asking you to dump Trump. That's right. We need to bring America to a different economic growth area. We need to weed the people. We want to stimulate the economy, and there's no better way for it to stimulate than what has already happened in many states that have allowed legalized marijuana, CBD oil, and other things. Now, Donald Trump just went in the wrong direction when he banned fruity vapors. Any fruity vaporizers that you're currently using, that you're staying off of cigarettes, has now put you back on cigarettes, and now you're buying a pack a day and you're down $10 a day. Some of you people really liked saving money on the vaporizers. Now you can't in many states. Oh, really? Rick James did horrible things, according to Dave Chappelle? Are you talking about the new Dave Chappelle or the old Dave Chappelle? Because the new one doesn't know diddly squat. He's a complete shill for the New World Order. That's not even Dave Chappelle. It's some fake guy. Yeah, I hate to tell you, but, well, I'm glad to tell you, actually, that that's not Dave Chappelle. Not even his own cousin. Yeah, vaping fruity vaporizers were actually quite cheap for people. 1/5 the cost of cigarettes. So don't kid yourself. Yeah. Hey, are you drinking a lot of fluoride? Are you like this man who drank the fluoride, watched the TV, taken all his medication and prescribed medications, and now he's ready to vote? Yeah, this is the future of America. So avoid fluoride if you want to make a qualified vote in the upcoming future elections. Fluorides in sodas, anything with tap water. So try to get anything with purified water in the water makeup. Oh yeah, there you go. You tried cocaine and you drained your wallet. You did it for 6 months. Yeah, exactly. You value your money more than the cocaine. Okay? Dave, all my Jewish professors are giving me a hard time. They call me out since I'm the only white guy in the class. One of them called me an ignorant white goy in front of a class of minorities, while arguing that all the white people are racist and privileged, and the white people are the reason for all the problems in the United States, Dave. Zeno, I know it's a pretty bad situation. Many of you are victimized. I was similarly victimized for being white in general. I didn't get the scholarship funds that Elizabeth Warren got by lying and saying she was a Cherokee Indian. It affected my college education big time. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons to be pissed off. And those Jewish professors have the worst case of white guilt of any of them. That's all they think about, is how they can run you down to make you the scapegoat in the classroom. And these are just people who are, victims, white people who are victims. They're not the entitled class anymore. Saying that white people have privilege is ridiculous. White privilege, what's that? Most of American white people have been denied an education for the past 30 years. If you're lucky enough to be making money, it's because you were only tenacious enough to work your way through college. But you weren't given a free ride like Barack Obama. Katie Hill is a victim. I got to tell you, I hope Katie Hill opens up her own website, does cam girl stuff or something. I mean, the poor lady, she needs to make a political statement while she's doing her cam girl work, don't you think? Maybe she has a future on Chatterbait. So anyway, Weed the People is a plan to actually get America to realize the importance of legalization of marijuana. 64% of the country wants this. Yeah, maybe Katie Hill can work out a deal with Amanda and they could do like a girl-on-girl show or something. Not that I care, because I would never watch it. I know you were class valedictorian. I know. I hear you, man. And now you're getting victimized. You're living the life I led, 40 years ago. Yeah. You're it's kind of a weird, look into backwards in time and saying, oh, wow, that's what I was doing when Xeno's doing it right now. Yeah. So are you planning on moving into your Sprinter or something to save money? Well, there's a lot of Sprinter conversions that you may want to consider for your own freedom. And this will kind of take you out of the incel mode, because there's nothing better than pulling up into a local area, getting out, going to a restaurant or a bar and meeting somebody really nice and taking her over to your Sprinter, and it's all set up, ready to go, going, yeah, I live in the Sprinter because I'm traveling. My home base is Florida, but I'm here with my Sprinter van conversion, which costs, by the way, $70,000. And these things are not cheap. And these Sprinter combos are a great way to save money. And people are doing it all around the country. I mean, couples, normal people with faces, And you could be one of those. And you might just have your first sexual experience. So yeah, start living life, Xeno. Sounds like you're missing out on a lot of things. Yeah, finish your school year off, though. You could save more cash. No, most cities can't tell you're living in your Sprinter. These things are set up, you can't tell if anybody's living in them. The front is separated from the back. You have these pull-down canopies. It's like total stealth living. They would never catch you. They could knock on the door for hours and nobody's going to answer. You don't have to answer anybody, right? I am not endorsing a crime, by the way. Go to the farthest reaches of town to park. You don't park in areas that you're going to get, ticketed or bothered. I lived in a van for 2 years. I know. I had real life experience, and I can tell you, it teaches you how to save money, big time. Now, Greta didn't address certain key issues, like ending weather modification. Yeah. She didn't talk about solar engineering management or even stratospheric aerosol injection. And she didn't talk about how that may affect climate change. Basically, she was just a shill for George Soros. Not actually saying anything, just complaining and acting like she hated anyone outside of her generation. Which is very mean, not very nice. They are a lot more strict about parking, but there are ways of parking stealth and live in a parking lot at Walmart. Those last, how long do those last? A van will last probably a couple of years. What do you mean, how long? You can make a van last your lifetime. You just have to learn how to repair it. I actually had to pull out my CB joints on my VW and rebuild my carburetor. Oh yeah. And in one case, an engine burned up and I had to solicit some help from a family member to get it fixed. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I can't even go into details about that, but whatever. Memories stretched across my brain. Dow Jones is up 115 points. All right. So whatever's going on in the stock market seems to be pretty fluid. Things are moving along. As you know, I don't invest, so I'm not really an expert on anything stock market wise. I don't think you should ever invest in something unless you have money to spend and blow. And if you just want to blow money, then I'm sure you'd buy Bitcoins too for that. A lot of people made a lot of money on them. So it's a crapshoot. The stock market's no different than anything else, like going to Vegas. or playing, well, slot machines are the least chance of ever winning. Don't go to slot machines. They're your worst odds. Stock market has a general 12% increase in value long term. That's if you play the market wisely. 12% earnings in this day and age is pretty amazing when you can barely get 1% in banks with your checking account or your savings account. Anyway, if you haven't tried marijuana, don't. It's so good you'll want to smoke it again and again and again. So if you haven't ever tried it, don't. And I'm not urging people to smoke whatsoever. But if you are looking for an alternative view in life, it certainly helps take the edge off of a lot of your problems. And I've seen lots of people with PTSD benefit big time. Big time. Yeah. So re-agrification is what we are all about. Yeah. What does that mean? I don't know. I just made up the word in 1978, and I've been thinking about it ever since. It is a chance to actually repair the soil from all the glyphosate and the Roundup, which glyphosate is in Roundup, all of the chemical fertilizers, all the nitrates that are leaching into our soil from mass agriculture gone wild. So it's going to take a lot of work to rebuild America. And part of our plan is to actually provide a non-toxic detergent for farmers to actually spray on their fields. And believe it or not, there's a natural remedy for soil that will eliminate the toxicity within a short period of time. Believe it or not, detergent won't kill a plant. I know some people think, well, what do you mean? Putting a mild detergent on plants actually help open up the root ball to oxygenation and nitrogenation. And many people don't realize that we could actually start rinsing the soil much like we did, the ducks from the Valdez oil spill up in Alaska. They took Dawn and rinsed off all those ducks, and they're probably still quacking. Quack, quack, I remember all those ducks that were perhaps, well, they sounded almost like they were happy that they were free of oil, and the Dawn, rinsed off their skin. And they begin to sound so happy they even sound like, look at this. Oh my gosh. Did you hear that they're banning foie gras? Yeah, there's a national ban on foie gras in certain areas. Yep. New York City. That's right. New York City is banning foie gras. Council votes to ban selling foie gras. It's apparently a terrible thing that comes from ducks that have been forced to eat amounts of food that are way beyond what they should. It's like forced to eat, It's from force feeding a bird through a tube pushed down its throat. So selling foie gras in New York City will be illegal starting in 2022. Yeah, so they're not going to implement this plan for a few years. So if you're into eating some foie gras from the liver of some of these ducks, this is your chance. Go to New York, eat some foie gras until it's totally illegal, and then you'll wonder why you're living such an unethical life, eating garbage. Oh man, big stories today. Jeffrey Epstein's coroner has reversed his position and says, no, it looks more like Jeffrey Epstein was killed. And I'm still of the belief that Jeffrey Epstein didn't die. Oh, I think that Trump should thank himself for everything. I think he'll be thanking himself when they boo him again in front of a large group of people. When he went to the national football or baseball tournament recently, and the Nationals were playing, right? They're about to win the World Series. Oh my gosh, really? Oh my gosh, the Nationals, everybody, are about to win the World Series. Let's take a look. It's the 7th game. Oh my gosh, and there's 6-2. And they're probably in the final inning here. Washington Nationals are going to be the grand champion. But it was at this game that they booed Trump the other day. A large group of people. I mean, we're talking massive amount of people. And Trump can't respond very well to a large group of people booing him. And there were a lot of Republicans going, and I think it's strictly un-American for anyone to say anything bad about the presidency. And booing a president is absolutely wrong. Yeah, we're not happy with Trump, people. Come on. I mean, you people really want to throw all of your hopes and dreams into a guy that continually chants and rants and responds through Twitter and destabilizes world politics. I mean, you really want to get behind this guy? Seriously? There's something wrong with you, retardicans, who must somehow believe that this guy is your saint. 6-2, looks like it's a wrap. Middle of the 9th. Final, it's final, everybody. Washington Nationals have won the World Series. Da 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 da. Important music playing. Da 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 da. Yeah. Anyway, back to my show here. We're not really sure what to say about the new rule, but I'm still sticking with it. If you can listen to Trump speak without thinking he sounds like an idiot, then you are an idiot. I know. Most people who support Trump don't even know what a World Series is. They're from Appalachia, and they don't know much about anything. Yeah, 2 new LA fires and 4 Baja fires during this recording. God help us. Thank you, Scissor Fight. We're trying to put our mind at ease, but this is
Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. And I thought I was looking around tonight, and there's not a lot going on, although there are 2 plasma bursts, one in Oregon, one north of LA, since the other fires already tonight. But I wanted to show you a couple of the scars left by these fires that can be seen from the satellites, or whatever these things are that take these images. The Kincaid fire, you can see it to the left of the screen here in just a second. See that black area, that whole big area? Yeah, that's the black scar left by this fire. Wow. I'll zoom in on it here when it comes back around.
So we got a 1 hour, 14-minute video here. 14 minutes coming up.
The one below it is another fire that had started down there as well. Another scar.
Right there.
But the Kincaid fire, I doubt it's out, but there's no wind force driving it right now. And they kind of need the wind force to really make these things go really well, and to appear that they're natural. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here.
Yeah, it's kind of a relaxing demeanor. I'm not freaking out too much, even though the fires are happening across California. I still question as to what causes these fires. So we'll definitely be adding this to our list tonight. Thank you for the link, for sure. Yeah, so what I do is I process a lot of this stuff every night. So it is final. The Washington Nationals have beaten the Houston Astros 6-2. Wonderbar. Foie gras, that's no longer a story. Yeah, that's not a story.
And all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
How dare you? I think she has an acting career awaiting her. Hey Dave, how much astral projection have you done this year? Oh, dude. I totally could relate to what you're saying, dude. I really like astral project only when I'm totally zoned into the groove, like when I'm channeling one of the higher masters of astral projection. Some of them have become incredibly popular. Yeah. They've made a lot of money too on YouTube. I'm actually thinking of starting my own YouTube show about astral projection, maybe competing with this guy.
Hey, do you ever wonder what is going on? I mean, do you ever wake up or do something and you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Somebody said he looked a lot like me. Was that your kid? No, if I pop up in any one area, in your area, it's only because I am astral projecting in your dimension. So if you happen to see me on your local corner and then it's oh, there's Dave, that's just me. Yeah, I sometimes pop out here and there. You heard about the guy who was living in a monastery in Spain, and he was seen in Argentina visiting people on the streets, and he was astral projecting in the Zen Buddhist state. She is a drama queen. Hey, good evening, Tekwala. How dare you? How dare you? I know. How dare you?
Eternal economic growth. How dare you?
I like to play it really slow.
How dare you? Economic growth. How dare you?
Well, now Tekwala said that he's seen people who are closeted homosexuals. It's real. It's an epidemic of a bunch of hard asses who are really soft inside acting straight. So Tekwala, you decided to become gay? Whoa, is this your coming out party? It's the Tekwala coming out party. Hey, no, seriously, you're experimenting with gayness now? It sounds like you're really breaking into that world. Did you meet some fellas? I think I speak for May that you want to... Don't ever hurt anybody. Don't smack people. Greek God, your mind, it's going nowhere. You stop being a homosexual? Whoa. No, Dave, you quit being such a homo. Well, I'm glad you did. Yeah, because we were wondering about you. Yeah. Us straight people were wondering about you. She's more influential than you are. I know it's difficult for you to admit it, but it's the stark truth. You're a total moron. You're not even allowed to come in here. The woman has been coddled and given a place by George Soros, and you think she's more influential than I am. I know you're not gay, dude. That's what I'm saying. I was shocked when you said that you thought people were closeted. If we wanted to be closeted, we'd be in the closet right now. But we don't have to go there necessarily. We've done this before. Once you're in the closet, you have to get... Anderson Cooper came out of the closet. Fox Flossman said, Mark is making money off you. No kidding, Flossman. Yeah, we know all about the Bark money. Mark is making millions of dollars censoring our show. We know that. What can I do about it? Seriously, I would love to know what you think I can do about that. Telling me, I appreciate you telling me, though. No question about it. I'm an old-fashioned movie star. I was probably one of the first. So I came back from the old television years to become your host on our daily show. You're a manly radio voice kind of guy. That's right. Yeah, I bring back old-fashioned values. So tune into America's Third Party tonight. But yeah, I'm pretty much a standard in American media, unlike Greta, who's being made fun of and laughed at on a daily basis. So it doesn't take a lot to realize that her message is very unidimensional. Mine is multidimensional. Yes. I'm kind of the Pauly Shore of politics. Where's that picture? What picture? Picture I'm looking for? I don't know. You'd think it'd be under closet, right? I've got black hole under black hole. And there's a black hole right there. You know. Hey, peace, brother. What's going on, dude? Yeah, I got that categorized perfectly, but closet? No. What of you in the TV? Where is that picture? What do you mean, where is it? It's from the old days when I was a TV show host back in the year 2525. I was your talk show host. Yeah, so things don't really work that well in the real world. You know, you can't just get a closet to pop up. I can barely pull my mind together and formulate a thought sometimes when I'm astral projecting. But hey, somebody's got to do it, right? So if I happen to be in your local area on a TV screen or possibly in a movie theater, it may be my spirit world speaking out from beyond the grave. Not that I'm dead, but you never know. They claim that I've been the most watched person of all times. Time travelers have come into the show and said, hey, Dave, you know you're the most watched person of all times. And I'm like, really, dude? And you're like a time traveler? Whoa. Like, for real? Oh. Yeah, they came back from the year 2525 to tell me that. There I am. Good old-fashioned values with a good, simple approach, not this negativity from this woman.
And fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Look at that look on her eyes. Just like she's looking at the world through these lenses that were created by George Soros. And it's just like she doesn't see you. She sees this mass of angry people. You don't. How dare you? How dare you? Yeah, she just doesn't believe that you're real. But you are real, aren't you? You people. You call it drunken fetal syndrome? Do you want to send that picture off to me so I can look at it? I don't know what I did with it. I think I left it on my... Yeah, send me that picture again. I want to show it to everyone. She does seem to be a drunken fetal syndrome victim. And that is common. Asperger's is not unusual. It's not unusual to have Asperger's when you have drunken fetal syndrome. From mothers drinking, that kind of thing. I know the partner hair is crooked because no one bothered to comb her hair. She's exploited. She's being used to push a message of cap and trade, global carbon point legislation that'll tax everybody for the farts coming out of their anus. I think that may have been blocked. Let me see. Oh, come on. You're still picking on Rex. That's not right. Yeah, maybe my Shift Control N will work. Yes, that works. Thank you. Boy, that incognito really helps. Yeah, take a look at this, folks. This is shocking. But Tekwala brought this to our attention last night, and she really is suffering from some disease. The fetal alcohol syndrome disorder has a microcephalic head shape, which she does have. Railroad track ears. Kind of like, you can see them right there in this picture. It's like they have a perfect line around the outside. And then epicanthal folds around the eyes. She seems to have that right in there around the eclosions of the eyes. Yeah, and then the low nasal bridge and the upturned nose. She has that going for her right there. And of course, the smooth philtrum, the area between your, under your nose. And then the thin vermilion border around the lips. She has classic fetal alcohol syndrome, underdeveloped chin, low nasal bridge, small palpebral fissures around the eye. Well, that says it all. And I don't mean to offend you, Greta. You're a nice young lady if you really become a good person. But if you remain as cynical as you are, you'll feel very unhappy the rest of your life. I know, because I was exactly like Greta when I was 7 years old. To be honest, I sounded just like her. I know. My philtrum is a little bit wide in here. See that? It's not. It doesn't form a. But that's not to say that my mother was drinking during the pregnancy. She has an indent between her nose and upper lip. Yeah, I know. And I'm not here to rag on how she looks. I personally think she'll find a young man or woman, whatever her choice is, or transgender, to settle down with. Maybe one of George Soros's inbred children. But here's a kicker to stretch this further. They have her condition nailed to a T as fetal alcohol syndrome. What if that is another mask on a face of another form of walking life on Earth? Whoa! Tekwala brought up the alien possibilities. Whoa! Yeah, you're definitely onto something there. Rex Online says STFU to you, Tech. Flossman said, stop with the BS, man. She's not an alien.
For more than 30 years, the science has been crystal clear. How dare you continue to look away?
Have you heard the theory that she might be Alexandra of Hanover, Princess Alexandra of Hanover? Yeah, there's Princess Alexandra of Hanover, the unpretty princess, they call her. That woman's 19 years old. And yeah, or right around 20. But she looks a lot like her. Here's a photograph of Princess Alexandra of Hanover. The very fact that she turned down $67 million recently. The very fact that she turned down a $67,000 cash award prize. Who does that? I mean, you'd have to have a lot of money to turn down $67,000 in cash award prize, but she just turned down an environmental award dissing an entire community of Norwegian people, but look at the similarities between their faces. I mean, the same eyebrows, same nose. I don't know. I mean, you got to wonder. And the way she turned down the $67,000, you'd take the $67,000 for the environmental award, wouldn't you? Okay, so you don't think she is, or you think she could be an alien or a fetal alcohol syndrome victim? Okay. So you're of the belief that this is like a mask? You've been watching too much Game of Thrones. Yeah, people don't have masks that look like Arya. I'm halfway through Game of Thrones right now with Sarah. Man, that is such an entertaining show. I really see why everyone was saying, hey, Dave, have you watched Game of Thrones? You got to see that. We finally got access to HBO, and it's been fun. It's the best part of our weekend right now is watching Game of Thrones. There's so much to watch on TV now. Did it ever occur to you that maybe they're just trying to keep us distracted? You know? it really makes sense to me that it's an elaborate distraction process. We want to, you can look at porn or whatever, CGI. Soon you'll have a female robot to look at and be with. You've got online gaming where you can kill anything, not in reality, but in virtual world, you can kill anything. Then you've got access to multiple shows, movies. Oh, if that's not enough, you've got sports. And of course, you're a news junkie, so who doesn't like watching the news when you're bored? I mean, it's like distraction central wherever we go. It's unbelievable. Is it true that Game of Thrones is 90% sex scenes? Well, I can tell you the first Game of Thrones starts out with midget sex, so how can you turn that down? Yeah, Washington won the World Series. Yeah, and the people of Washington booed Donald Trump. It's even better. I mean, that really said a lot right there when they booed him. You can't ignore that. That's like huge. Do I want to watch the shows that I watch? Yeah, I do. Yeah. If I had an engaging conversation going on with somebody in real terms and in reality, and we were in like a coffee shop talking, it would be far better and more interesting to me to talk to somebody than it would be to watch a show. But the alternative to reading, and I did a lot of reading when I was young, is to watch fiction. And that's why I like episodic TV now. Now, Sarah's trying to get me back into words, books on tape, so I can get back into the idea of reading, because I don't like reading now because it's eye strain to me. What I do every night is enough eye strain just reading off the monitor. But I would rather just watch a show and just get entertained. I'm being honest, too. Just why not? And now we have such an incredible amount of entertainment for next to nothing, cost-wise. Trump is going to an MMA fight. Are they going to boo him there? They'll probably cheer him there. No, I'm not a car thief, Streaky. I wouldn't start a car with a screwdriver, but I've seen it done on television. Yeah, so he's going to Madison Square Garden this weekend to hopefully get some cheers. I'm sure the MMA people will love him. He'll get a resounding applause when he gets there. Yeah, it'll be up, up, and away. Okay, well, I hope it works out for him. I don't have any bad feelings about Donald Trump. When I found out that they'd used that sex tape against him, Russia had, and according to Robert Mueller, apparently they blackmailed him during some period in the election, and our government didn't even do anything to stop it. I really felt bad for him. You've seen the sex tape, right? It's all over the internet. He's sitting there on a chair while two women are urinating next to each other. You don't see the urination part because it's all blocked out. But it's out there. There's a 24-second loop of it circulating all over LiveLeak and YouTube and Twitter. Yeah. So it looks just like him. So I seriously don't think that they made it up. And now that Mueller confirmed that the sex tape is real and he was blackmailed, I can't link it. I'm not going to link it. It's out there. Just take my word for it. It looks just like him. I wouldn't be lying to you about that. And since we found out from the report by Mueller that they knew about the blackmail, our president has been completely unwound, basically, and having full access to cell phones, private calls to Vladimir Putin, no transcripts of any of his activities with Putin. As an American, I am deeply concerned about our national security and have been for some time, ever since I was the one that brought this up before anybody in the country. And I've been the person who's been trying desperately to make people aware that this guy is definitely running ragged on our national security at every level. Even bragging about the recent attack on al-Baghdadi is an example of him exposing the secrets of our national security, right down to the SEAL team that did this raid and how they did it, and how they used a dog. And he revealed all this information to the American people that loose lips sink ships, and I'm sorry, but that's just totally uncalled for. Believe me, I'm not here to endorse a urination. Other than people have to go to the bathroom. I believe that what the president did was he was totally taken advantage of. We know from the bodyguard who said to the Senate hearing that when he testified, the bodyguard said that Trump went into the hotel room that night after they were approached by 5 prostitutes. They turned the prostitutes down and they both went into the hotel. That's what the bodyguard said in his testimony. And then Trump has countered that and said he didn't spend any time in the hotel. I wasn't even in the hotel. I just changed my clothes. So apparently Trump contradicted the bodyguard's testimony that he saw him go in the hotel room and the next morning saw him come out. Apparently Donald Trump went somewhere that night with those 5 women, probably met him down in the lobby or the bar, and he probably said, "Hey girls, what do you want to do? You want to have a fun time? What do you say? Just like Studio 54, what do you say? I could watch a sex act?" Something like that. Because it didn't look like he was masturbating or anything in the picture. He was on a tablet like this, and the women were doing weird things in front of him, and someone had a handheld camera taping him. So whatever the hell was going on, somebody else had a tablet, probably say, "Hey Donald, look at this on the tablet, and we'll make these girls do this." And Donald's looking at the tablet, and they're taking a picture of Donald looking at the tablet. That's what I think went down. He was sitting in a chair smoking. No, he had a tablet on his hand, the one that I saw. I don't know, there's supposedly a long time there's only 24 seconds that have been released. I cannot tell you where that image is because I've never seen Ocasio-Cortez in a pair of jeans playing 5-card draw. I've never seen that, I know. But I'm not here to rag on Donald Trump. I feel kind of sorry for him. But what I'm concerned about is Donald Trump and Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren, they're all Zionists. They all want money from AIPAC. And we're looking at the underbelly of an Israeli political action or political affairs committee controlling our country's future. Now, Anita sent me this weird link to the Judeo-Russian mafia and the bloodbath to come. And I'm going to post it in the room if you want interesting reading tonight. It kind of gives you a background on how Russia and AIPAC work together to pretty much control politics in America and Russia. And we're beginning to realize that a lot of our actions in Syria and Iran are motivated by this Zionist takeover concept, which started with Israel, but has now advanced to a new world order. The question is America being blackmailed into new Middle East wars on behalf of Israel? Now, as you know, I support Israel as an ally, but I don't want them to direct our foreign policy. That's the difference between myself and those Zionists that simply want to do whatever Israel tells them to do. So we've got a lot to be concerned about. There's a little Russia down there in Brighton Beach called Little Odessa. And this is in Brooklyn. And it's basically an American headquarters of this red mafia ranked as one of the world's most powerful criminal gangs. Now, these gangs stretch up into the synagogues, too, like Chabad Leibovich, which is the synagogue that Jared Kushner and Ivanka Kushner go to. And this is how Donald Trump became embroiled in the oligarchs' money. When he needed money during the 2008 debacle, they had it. Remember the subprime loan drops? Donald had cash. So during that time period, Trump essentially cozied up with some pretty powerful Zionists and elitists from Russia, and in the process got billions of dollars. He has right now a $1 billion debt to Deutsche Bank that is underwritten by Russian oligarchs. I mean, we have a president with loans out and underwritten by our Russian oligarchs, and the Republicans are standing there going, "Oh, it's all a Russian hoax. It's all fake news." So we have a lot of waking up to do.
Hello, I'm from the Victoria.
Hello. I'll play that tonight too. The Honest Government. Yeah, that's a good one. They put out really nice ones. It's a tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic view of government, and it's really funny. The sarcasm is really rich.
Victorian Government. Are you ready for the Melbourne Cup? Hear that sound? It's coming. No, that's not racehorses. That's the sound of Tarakash wearing Moscato sculling wankers heading to the Flemington Racecourse with...
Anyway, nice, thank you. Honest government. Yeah, Baghdadi is dead again, the 5th or 6th time. You like her dirty mouth? Paul Lynde did a really funny little skit that sounded just like me just now.
Yes, sir.
I'll take Paul Lynde again.
During the 18th century, it was common for a bride to sell something at her wedding reception to help pay for the cost of the wedding. What did she sell?
Her firstborn.
I'm going to bring that into the show because it's very wasteful. 22 minutes of one-liners on Hollywood Squares. Who doesn't want to watch that from Paul Lynde? Well, I do. The voice of Templeton. David, is this you? I'm sorry, that cannot be seen. I'll open up my incognito browser. Thanks for telling me about this incognito browser. It's really the way to go. I don't have a copy of that, sorry. So that was an interesting link that was tweeted to me earlier. I'm trying to get through my links. Yeah, I'm going to be playing a 15-minute video tonight on the man who died. Pretty sad. Oh my gosh, look at this. Wow. Yeah, that's just, how do you explain that? A tree burning on the inside, except with a directed energy weapon. I cannot imagine something like that happening. It would take something monstrumental. Monstrumental. Nice new word, monstrumental. There is a massive volcano blowing dirt and pollution and waste material into the air, so don't feel bad if you've got some flatulence. It's not your fault. Japan's Shuri Castle left in smoldering ruins as the inferno rages. Wow. Onlookers watch. It's not a volcano, it's a Shuri Castle burning up in Okinawa. It was in the provincial capital of Naha. It went up in flames early on Thursday morning. The entire building has been destroyed. Still burning. Wow. Okay, thank you, Greta. We're not going to... Forensic pathologist hired by Epstein's brother says he may have been strangled. Yeah, I seriously don't think it was even Jeffrey Epstein, so let's move on. Yeah, I don't trust this whole thing. The story about the second coroner claiming it was strangulation. Yeah, whoever that was in the picture definitely was strangled. But it wasn't Jeffrey Epstein. because he's alive as the day is day. The day is light. Wow, we got things on vaccinations tonight. People's Truth. Very good. Oh, here's Obama claiming he visited 57 states in 2008. Obama, when he first ran, didn't even know how many states there were in the country. He was kind of a teleprompter reader. Well, let's be clear. We're going to read the teleprompter.
Because, it is just wonderful to be back in Oregon, and over the last 15 months, we've traveled to every corner of the United States. I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go. Alaska and Hawaii I was not allowed to go to, even though I really wanted to visit, but my staff would not justify it.
57 states. So how did that man lead this country for 8 years? No wonder we have problems right now. It's almost impossible. So as much as I want to bring in that video on the death of this man, I'd rather do that later. I'd rather talk instead about how Russia is stealing the magnetic north. Talk about wasteful. Russia is taking all of our magnetic north energy away from us. Believe it or not, over the past 10 years, we've seen an acceleration of the movement of the magnetic north toward Russia. And no one can really explain why this is happening. They claim that Russia's been slowly stealing magnetic north for the past 20 years. Some people argue they may be moving iron outer core, which would affect the magnetic current by moving it in a different direction. It could be a strategic move to block out our navigation equipment. Experts speculate that Russia may be taking the magnetic pole hostage in a power play against the West. So here's what the comments were. Mike Dundee said, I knew it. Ann Bear says, so glad there's still some sanity and humor in this country. Thanks. Yes, we are. And we are. The moon can reverse to turn our white plate. And then it is what led legalization in Canada. So people really don't know what to think of this. There's not a lot of comments going on. But what a waste, And there's a team of people over at Monk working diligently to stop our show. Tonight we got a candid picture of the hackers that are working over at Monk. And this was taken from their location. Believe it or not. There's a camera up on the wall over there. You guys think we don't know what you're doing? I had a DDoS at the beginning of my show, literally knocked me off the air. Had to shut down my entire stream and had to reboot all my stream keys. Took me like 9 minutes to reboot, but that's what happened. And this guy is supposedly, I got this picture sent to me. This is of an actual hacker's outfit called Monk. I have no idea other than that. But that was the first lead I've had in a long time of what they're doing. Oh, really? Oh, maybe it was not from tonight. Yeah, it was from another night. Good point. Yeah, that was Tuesday night. Maybe it was a picture from a couple days ago. That was yesterday. Yep, that was yesterday's picture. Yeah, so it would have been yesterday and they posted it today. If you're feeling really hateful toward others and want to kill them, I know, I was wearing the cream color. That was yesterday. If you want to hurt people, you're suffering from a severe mental breakdown. And you have to recognize that it's not your right to take another life. Now, my father, who was in the war, who killed over 100 men by shooting them, and in some cases hand-to-hand combat, where it was either his life or theirs. And I even have the knife that he used to defend himself and kill people with. And I can tell you that having grown up with a man who was, I guess, a murderer, because he did it for this country, to defend our country against enemy attack, that he felt that no man has the right to take another man's life. He told me that. And he truly believed it. And I do have a lot of respect for my father to this day. And I can tell you that I don't think anyone should ever take someone else's life. That's my solid opinion. And this is coming from a guy who took over 100 lives. And I think he dealt with a lot of guilt over that. Even though he knew he was doing it for his country and he knew he was trying to fight an enemy. And I'm sure all of that was like a nightmare to him because he went through that, remembrance period. But he told me toward the end of his life that part of his life when he killed people for the government as a Marine, that he felt like it was a different life entirely. So if you really want to live a different life entirely and lock up with, doing life in prison for killing somebody, then I'm sure that's the avenue you'll have to take. But that alone should keep you from hurting people, is just knowing full well that you will get caught and that you will spend the rest of your life in jail if you do that, or could. But in his case, he had a legitimate reason to support this country, to fight our enemy. That's why he did it. But he taught me nonviolence, my father did. And it was a very powerful lesson. I can only tell you, it's one of the toughest lessons in the world to learn, especially if you are hardwired to be aggressive. I was hardwired to be aggressive as a child. And growing up in a family with father's a Marine who taught people the Marine way, he also had to teach me how to tone down that aggression. And it was a tough lesson to learn, I can assure you. He said to me, it takes a greater man to not fight back. No one who kills people gets away with it. Those people eventually get caught. There was a man who was just caught recently who had admitted to a massive string of murders. He was retrieved from killing people. In 2018, he was locked up. But he started telling people of what he did, and his name is Samuel Little. He may very well be the largest serial killer in history. He basically beats every one of them. Jeffrey Dahmer, Ed Gein, John Wayne Casey. This guy killed over 50 people. He's killed as many as 93 people, he claims. And investigators have linked him to over 60 murders. Most of them were prostitutes that he killed, people that were just, looking for trouble, and he was trouble. But a vicious murderer like that finally gets caught. There's an example of how a guy who does kill a lot of people ends up having to spill the truth and even pointed people to where they were buried. The guy we have in the lockup here in Washington called Gary Ridgway, he got extended life sentences, no death penalty, killed 53 women. Gary Ridgway, he was considered a body dumper. Some people wonder if he was working alone or working for a group of people that were into ritualistic murder. That still remains a question in my mind. They gave him a sweetheart deal when he told people where he buried all the bodies. You found Nazi stuff in your grandfather's closet? Wow. Maybe you're related somehow to Nazis. That may be why you have such a kind of a cold, I'm going to say neutral perspective. Yeah, you seem to have kind of a neutral perspective. I'm not going to say sociopathic because I think you're not a sociopath upon assessment, but it could be a telemarketing office they're working out of, yeah. I don't know, but these monitors are buff. They're not telemarketer monitors. This was taken a couple days ago at an organization, someone said it was called Monk. But look at those monitors. Those are full in, and those chairs are comfy chairs. That's not telemarketers. Those are people who sit there and go on the internet and hack all day long for a living. That's like a steam room for hackers. Curved monitors too, the high end. Good point, chat room. Well, I'd like to know who's in the chairs, but I don't have any way of doing any kind of a screen grab on their face. It's kind of dithered. The only person I can recognize in that picture is myself. So I could do facial recognition on myself, I suppose. Yeah, that looks a lot like me. Yeah. It looks like it could be me. Ah, freak out. Whoops. Freak out. Oh, you're here now? I don't have to have any fear? Thanks. Yes or no to the death penalty? I support the death penalty at the federal level, but not. I think states can determine what they are going to do with state crimes that go on. Obviously, a federal death penalty would send a loud and clear message to criminals that we're not going to take crimes lightly. We've got some areas where we've got really liberal judges in my area that give away really light sentences. We had a guy who killed his girlfriend and then buried her body in his grandparents' backyard. And thanks for telling me, Misanthropy. Yeah, and it turns out that the guy was caught like 5 years later, and they uncovered the body, and then they arrested him, and they only gave him like 6 or 7 years for doing that. Killing his girlfriend and burying her body. Our liberal judges called it a crime of passion, that he was jealous and he killed her. He took this girl's life, and he only served 7 years in prison. We have another guy who recently, or not recently, but about 7 or 8 years ago, he killed 2 twin girls that were beautiful girls in our area with basically a manslaughter. He hit them with his car. And these 2 girls were absolutely at the top of their life, in the happiest times of their life. They were 17 and 18 years old. They were beautiful twin girls. They were called the Goheen girls. And here I'm getting all tearful thinking about it. They were in a car with another guy too. And the guy is injured for life, disabled. But he managed to live. One of the girls clung to life for 2 weeks before she succumbed to death. But the guy who hit them head on with his car had a history of using his car as a weapon. And he claimed in his defense that his front tires were bare. And of course they were bare if he'd been ripping out of every intersection in the country trying to use his car as a weapon. So he got, you're not going to believe this, he only got 4 years for killing both of those girls. He's going to be out on parole this year. And when we drive by this area where they were killed, we look at the picture, that picture I just showed you. And it just saddens us to see their lives snuffed out by this scumbag. And he's going to be driving around soon in his car again, because our liberal judges in the state just gave him hardly any kind of a punishment at all. Zeno, you ought to hang out with Misanthropy. You could compare your grandfathers and how they both worked for the Nazis. Yeah. Was he rich? He was a very successful roofer. He had a full business, and he had a very strong roofing business, had a lot of money. Why would a guy like that have bare tires? But he had a tendency of using his car as a weapon. And he hit the ground running one day and ripped into that area and then ran into oncoming traffic and killed those beautiful girls. Yeah, and their life was snuffed out. And you know what's really tragic? I'm going to give you a kicker here, which is even more disturbing. They had a sister who was about 4 years older than them, who had also died from a hit-and-run accident in Texas. The Goheen family lost their eldest sister in a hit-and-run accident in Texas. Then they all moved out here, and then the 2 young twins die in a hit-and-run or a hit accident. It was unbelievable. I mean, how these people can get through life every day with faith that they have. They're very religious, I believe Jewish people. But how they get through life in this world having known that their 3 beautiful daughters were snuffed out by alcoholics or people driving rapidly. It's amazing how they survive. Or look at Dr. Pettit in Connecticut, who lost his 2 daughters and his wife to murder and rape. What they did was they raped these 2 guys, broke into their house and raped the 2 girls and the mother, killed the mother, and then I believe left the house and torched the house and then burned the girls alive. And this man has to live with that grief every day. How he can get through his life. It never gets any easier. It's always like he said it was like a jagged edge that never smooths out. The feeling. Anyway. Yeah, so Wasteful Wednesday was dedicated to the losses of all these people who've died because of a crazy, sick world we live in, and then no justice. Okay, so somebody, Super Saber says he was at the game and he was caught on camera. Let's take a look. The Washington Nationals just won the World Series. Here's a picture of him. Excellent. You know, you've lost quite a bit of weight, Super Saber. You look really good in that tank top. I know. I'm crying. It's just so sad to see people, hurt. Rashid Rahashad says, nice Mossad glasses, David. I'm not Mossad. Zena, those were pretty Jewish girls. Yeah. It's a crazy world, isn't it? Well, I'm not going to sit back and ignore the extremely liberal leaders we have right now. And our state is ripe full of these liberals. The burn tards are living all around me. And they really want everyone to have, free Medicare for all. And they want to tax everybody for everyone's Medicare for all. They really want to make everybody have to pay through the nose so everybody can have Medicare for all. We have Medicaid for all. We have more than enough money to cover basic Medicaid, but we don't have the ability to cover Medicare for all. That's absurd. It would cost $60 trillion. How could we ever afford all that? There's a black hole sucking you in. This is the money getting sucked in the vortex. And there's no way it's going to get any better with the Democrats in charge. Our nation is $1 trillion in debt right now, and we will be $1.34 trillion in debt in a short period of time after 2020, regardless of who wins the election. That's how bad it is. That's a major gaper. We owe $22 trillion, but if you add the Social Security Trust Fund and the tremendous amount of you're in the soccer match in Guadalajara. You're betting on the goal. Okay, good luck. Yeah, you're watching soccer. I didn't even know that was going on at the same time. Oh, well, the money they haven't already spent but want to. Yeah, there you go. That's probably where the money's going to be spent. The Democrats want to blow money left and right. It's crazy. And they just want to keep adding to the budget. And I've been to meetings with Democrats where they literally turn around to each other and go, how else are we going to pay for it? We've got to tax people. And it never occurred to them that they're wasting money, that they need to reallocate it somewhere else. It never occurred to them that they could redistribute money from one thing to another. Hey, we talked about a quandary that many people have who are concerned about the environment last night. It's kind of a big quandary. A lot of the solar panels many of you are buying so that you can become green friendly are actually terribly toxic. Oh, Hope, how are you? Hope Hicks, everybody. Yeah, could you tell us a little bit about your time with Donald and if you had to do any special things for him? Press 1 if you did. I won't hold it against you. Did you have to do certain things for Donald, Hope? We're curious. Press 1 if you did. It'll be completely private. So Jerry Brown is blaming Republicans for the forest fires when he could have gotten the Super Scooper planes ordered, just like Newsom could order Super Scooper planes right now. He says he blamed deniers for the California fires. The blood is on your soul here, and hope you wake up. That's what he said. Huh. Okay. But yeah, solar panels are very toxic. They may be an appealing choice for energy, but they harbor their share of toxic chemicals. So we actually found some interesting bio panels that were beginning to look like a possibility. We could make solar panels out of biodegradable material. And there's actually a company that's doing that. But that's one aspect we have to look at long term, is using a lot of toxins to create hybrids and solar panels. And it's kind of working in the opposite direction, isn't it, to make that stuff. You're not wasting my own money if we tax you. Well, the fact is, if you add taxes constantly to the American people, the economy won't run. You're shutting down the economy. By overtaxing, you're shutting down the economy. The Democrats are systematically going to shut down the economy. They're fielding a 42% sales tax. That's what Warren is talking about. 42% on goods and services. Yeah, can you imagine how bad our economy is now, how bad it would be with 42% tax on top of the price of everything? She wants to use that to fund her solution for our nation's healthcare plan. Well, in the case of government, less is more. Come on, Dave. What do you mean horrible headlines like that? How could you accuse me of being a deep state running horrible headlines like that? What kind of headline are you talking about? Be more specific, Techwalla. And are you drinking again? You could be drinking alcohol now that you're not working. I'm beginning to wonder if you're not lit. The solar panels, it's ridiculous. I'm not deep state. Just because I'm concerned about pollution doesn't make me a George Soros character. Don't get me wrong, I'm not some suck up to the MoveOn.org agency. Hardly. My ideas are absolutely original. Super Dave, what's your problem? Yeah, like a general sales tax of 42%. That's what Warren wants to do. It's ridiculous. So apparently the Republicans found their scapegoat. The whole cause of the entire Russian collusion accusations, according to them, it's not Donald Trump. Nothing to do with Donald Trump. He's as clean as a whistle, according to the Republicans. It's all this woman right here. She's the cause of everything. Blame it all on her. Yeah, Lisa Page. Flynn lawyers reveal FBI attorney Lisa Page edited Flynn's FBI 302 report, then lied to DOJ about edits. But what about the fact that Michael Flynn really was working for Russia? Does that have any bearing whatsoever on this discussion? Regardless of what she did in paperwork, the Republicans think this is the cause of the entire Russian collusion. Can you imagine how stupid that is? Blaming it on her. Yeah. I got an idea. Why don't we just blame the entire global climate crisis on Greta. What do you say? How dare you?
Crystal clear. How dare you continue to look away?
Am I looking away? How dare you? You didn't relapse. You just have time to kill now that I'm not a wage slave working hard as an agent for a company reported profits for the third quarter. Well, you did really well for your company. It's just a shame that you were a wage slave. You should have been elevated. I would have said, you're smarter than the others. You could be the manager. And you could have been the manager there. You should have been promoted. What do you take? Scissor's not getting any kind of a visit. What are you talking about? He's in the room right now. He's visiting us over at iBlog. And he had really nice music. He created an entire song dedicated to her on Vocaroo. Here it is. That was really nice. Very cool. Yeah, it's like mellow, you know. I look stimulated. Hey, Hope, what's going on? How dare you? That was nice. I like that. It's very calming. And you know what? It really nestled, the words, how dare you, really nestled in there in the mix, you know. Worked out really well. Very nicely done. So, Old-Fashioned Values, tune into America's Third Party tonight, where you can encounter great new ideas too, and old-fashioned values at the same time. That's my show. That's what we're all about. How dare you? You're kind of gay? So Hope, I did not know you were gay. This is news to me. I thought that Hope Hicks was at the very least suffering from some, you know, knee pad issues. We don't know what you did in the White House, Hope, for what, how long? 1.5 years, Donald Trump's closest assistant, admitting that you lied for him in the Senate hearings. Hope, really, what happened during that time period when you were with Donald? Can you tell us just a little bit about what was going on between you and the Donald? We'd like to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Were you intimately involved with Donald? You can tell us here. We won't tell anybody, and the media is not watching, so you don't have to worry. It's only us poor people all around the world. So tell us, Hope, what happened in the White House? Did you perform any acts with him? Are you a transgender, Hope? Tell us something. I mean, throw us a bone. You certainly have a high voice. Okay. Hope won't talk. She's only talked a couple times to people. Zeno, please don't contact the show anymore. Thank you. Trying to find out what she actually said. She doesn't talk. This is what her voice sounds like. I want to hear it. For a woman who was so close to the president for so long, we barely ever heard her speak. Well, let's be clear.
His presence and personality, but also his message and his ability to captivate. For the Donald J. Trump for President campaign and now the Donald J. Trump transition team. I think campaigns and
you got to wonder, how the heck was she a communications director?
Of Washington.
How the hell did she become communications director for the President of the United States of America with a voice like that and hardly ever communicated? Well, she has some manly shoulders, I must say. You know, I'm a little concerned about Tulsi. I think I've talked about Tulsi Gabbard, the Russian collaborator, according to Hillary Clinton. Yeah, I'm not sure if she's a woman. I'm not really sure. With a name like Tulsi, ex-CIA boss John Brennan appears to partly back Hillary Clinton's theory that Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian agent. Okay, I'm waiting for this to open. Here we go. There's John Brennan, former CIA director.
And I should say, no relation that we know of.
If you want to say that, cousin, sure. Go ahead.
A lot of Brennan. In terms of looking at what's happening now, Hillary Clinton got a lot of attention in the past week and a half or so for saying that she was, in her view, believed Tulsi Gabbard, who is one of the Democrats running for the nomination, was a Russian asset. And her staff doubled down on that. She didn't walk away from the comments. Do you see what she was talking about there?
Well, I'll leave to Secretary Clinton an explanation about what she meant there. You can say something's a Russian asset, even if it's not intentionally trying to advance Russian interests, but because of what it does or what it says or whatever, it is, in fact, something that is promoting the Russian agenda. Maybe that's what she meant in terms of some of the things that Tulsi Gabbard has said in terms of on the international stage, that the United States should not be involved in a lot of these, foreign adventures or whatever.
And a third-party candidate was something specifically she brought up.
Yeah, and the Russians are very sophisticated observers. I think, as John said, they've done a lot of research about the U.S. political scene. And they've looked at, a lot of different countries in terms of how they can influence events there. And sometimes it may be a third-party candidate pushing money into the coffers of some of those politicians or parties that they favor.
You got to wonder, Kamala Harris is running out of money right now. We, as you know, have never received money from Russians or anyone else outside of the U.S. and don't have much money at all. And that's a clear example of how we're not controlled, or a deep state plant like Tekwala accused me of being, which is ridiculous. I've actually met you, man. I mean, how can you call me a deep state plant? That's ridiculous. You take everything the man says with a grain of salt? Okay, well, he's John Brennan. I agree. That's absurd, and we're going to mute you for that, Xena. Yeah, so at this point, even the specter of a third party associated with Russia was a dagger to our effort. Hillary Clinton threw that in there and threw Tulsi Gabbard's name in there, and I said immediately, publicly, well, you typed it. It's humorous, but I don't mind saying it because I'm not a deep state shill, I assure you. But when Hillary said that Tulsi Gabbard was going to be a third-party Russian player, it was a double-edged sword, and it hurt us too. So I immediately said I would never choose Tulsi Gabbard as a running mate, because ironically 2 or 3 weeks prior I was saying how great she was wanting to get out of Syria, and wouldn't she be great vice presidential choice. It's almost like Hillary was watching our show when she threw that out there. So I had to just immediately get on top of that, and I really do have doubts about Tulsi Gabbard because of number one, she clearly could be working for Antifa. in some way. She posed in a picture with Antifa members. So Larry Johnson. Okay, I'll take a quick peek at that in just a second. But yeah, look at this picture right here of her gathering with a bunch of one guy who's an arms guy, an arms dealer in the Antifa movement. And here she is making the sign of the devil with him. That's suspicious. But then I began realizing there's something else with this woman. She doesn't want to commit to anything. Hang on just a second. She actually clearly supports some sort of an Illuminati triangle thing going on here. It's like, I'm not sure what that's all about. She's never said anything negative about Zionists or about the Illuminati or a New World Order. She's never made any commitment in that statement at all. And mindlessly backing withdrawal from Syria without any real reasons does beckon the question, is she like Trump working for Russia? Because Trump definitely seems like he's working for Russia. Pulling out of Syria like he is, he may be following my representation. I want to get out because I'm a non-interventionist, but not because I want to give it over to Russia. I want to retain control using an automated system I call safe zones. Trump stole that idea and now he's calling it a safe zone. The Kurdish safe zone. Yeah. Shooting, son. They trusted that robot enough to spin it around and know it wasn't going to shoot them. Isn't that amazing? Wow. That is one hell of a display of power, everybody. Thank you very much for watching our show, too. I'm blown away. I think we're heading toward Technology Thursday on our Halloween show, where I will be a stump and Sarah will be a tree. And we'll see you again tomorrow. We're trying to raise consciousness for how dangerous Trump is to the environment and how wonderful trees are to save the environment and bring oxygen back to this planet. So it'll be good for tomorrow night. But catch us at 5. There's no cooking show. It'll just go right into the Halloween show at 5 o'clock. Thank you for coming in, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow at 5. But again, you can watch us till 1 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time, with videos that have been submitted tonight. We'll play through the evening. I'll be in chat talking to you guys. I'm David Sponheim, signing off as Mr. Right.
I find we found melt away. You're Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good to be true. You spin my world around, 'cause you're the peace I finally found. You sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat, 'cause you make me melt away. You're Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good to be true.